Chapter 32-23. The last time they came to the concert, it was him, Miss, Shu, and Xiao Xiao, right? At that time, Su Shihan was having a headache, and he helped her backstage. In the blink of an eye, things had changed. Miss left, Xiao Xiao left, Shu also left, and Su Shihan, after finding her mother, her headache should be gone by now, right? The concert was exceptionally successful. Su Shihan and Cheng Yi were very good at stirring up the atmosphere of the scene. The two cooperated well and pushed the concert to its climax step by step. When the concert ended, it was already 10 p.m. Lin Yi didn't rush, but stayed with Su Shihan and Cheng Yi at the orphanage. But Cheng Yi obviously wanted to go back to Donghai City. On the way back to the dorm, Cheng Yi tried to persuade Su Shihan to leave. Xiao Han, why don't we go back to Donghai City? You're not used to living here? Cheng Yi tried to persuade her for the last time. You're not going, right? I'm quite tired, you too, right? Su Shihan didn't understand why Cheng Yi insisted on leaving, plus, I just reunited with my mom, I don't want to leave so early. I see. Cheng Yi was a bit disappointed. Lin Yi looked at Cheng Yi deeply. Cheng Yi jumped and quickly shut her mouth, but Lin Yi didn't say anything and went upstairs with them. At the door of the dorm, Cheng Yi saw Su Shihan walking towards the dean's room. Obviously, Su Shihan was going to stay with the dean tonight, so she quickly said, Xiao Han, let's sleep together tonight. Yi? What's wrong with you today? Su Shihan looked at Cheng Yi strangely. When we were in Donghai City, didn't we sleep together every day? I'll sleep with my mom tonight, okay? No. I mean. Cheng Yi was a little anxious and didn't know what to say. Then you three can sleep together. Lin Yi looked at Cheng Yi and suddenly said. Sure. I also want to chat with the dean and listen to your childhood stories, Xiao Han. Cheng Yi heard Lin Yi's suggestion and immediately nodded. Okay. Su Shihan had no choice but to let Cheng Yi follow her into the old dean's room. Lin Yi watched as Cheng Yi and Su Shihan walked into the dean's room. At night, Lin Yi activated the third level of the Art of Dragon Mastery, absorbing true qi from the space in the jade pendant. The effect was already very slow, almost negligible. What Lin Yi needed now was an opportunity to level up, but it wasn't easy to find this opportunity. Midnight. Suddenly, Lin Yi sensed someone approaching the dormitory. Tonight, when Lin Yi saw Cheng Yi's abnormal reaction, he was already vigilant, so when this person approached, Lin Yi felt it. However, this person's level of strength left Lin Yi aghast. A perfect Heaven Realm peak late-stage expert. Songshan. Where did such an expert come from? Who was he after? Was it himself, or Su Shihan? Lin Yi frowned. If this person wasn't after Lin Yi, then he could still escape if he wanted to. If he wanted to run, he could, but if he wanted to take Su Shihan with him, it was almost impossible. And this person was after Lin Yi. That Lin Yi had nowhere to run, and he wanted to escape from a Heaven Realm peak late-stage expert. Wouldn't that be a dream? Lin Yi took a deep breath. Why was he so unlucky to meet such a master? This time, he probably wouldn't be as lucky as before. The blood-clothed underworld sex master could help. This time, he could only rely on himself. Force? No way. Outsmarting? It seemed that in the face of absolute power, intelligence was useless. At this moment, Lin Yi could only pray that this person wasn't after him. But unfortunately, this person came into the dorm as if there was no one there. He directly went up to the floor where Lin Yi was, and walked towards Lin Yi's room. This person's movement was extremely fast. From the time Lin Yi found him to the time he appeared outside the hallway, it was only a blink of an eye. How could a Heaven Realm peak late-stage expert not be fast? But what surprised Lin Yi was that this person didn't enter Lin Yi's room. Instead, he kicked open the old dean's door. Bang! A loud sound pierced the silence of the night. Su Shihan and the others must have woken up. On Lin Yi's side, his heart was burning with anxiety. He didn't know how to deal with this. Although from the moment he found this person, Lin Yi started to compress the chi bomb, but whether or not it would be effective against this Heaven Realm Peak late-stage expert, Lin Yi wasn't sure. Everyone in the room must die. This Heaven Realm Peak late-stage expert was naturally the great elder of the Black Horse Gang. When he saw that there were 3 people in the room, he couldn't help but be stunned. Didn't they say that the old dean lived alone? In this room, only the old dean was resting? However, the great elder didn't care too much. After all, 3 people and 1 person were the same in his eyes. The old dean's strength was like an ant in his eyes. The other 2 girls didn't seem to be too powerful. Since he saw them, he might as well kill them as well. It was as easy as lifting a finger. The great elder raised his hand and pointed at Su Shihan. He said indifferently, "You die first." Su Shihan was shocked. She didn't think that a strange old man would suddenly come in the middle of the night. And from the looks of it, this strange old man wasn't weak. "Who are you? What are you doing here?" The old dean frowned. She felt that the person in front of her wasn't simple. He was a practitioner, but she couldn't feel his specific strength. When the great elder of the Black Horse Gang didn't show his strength, the old dean couldn't see his specific strength. She didn't have Lin Yi's golden finger. The great elder raised his hand and pointed at the old dean. He said indifferently, "You're the old dean of the orphanage, right? Someone paid me to kill you. Die." At this moment, the Grand Supreme Elder's strength was also revealed, causing Amos to be shocked. Oh my god, the opponent was actually a Heaven Realm Peak late-stage expert. An expert of this level was simply an existence akin to an atomic bomb. He was the king of cultivators and was unparalleled. Chapter 32-24. However, the dean still frowned and asked, "Are you from the Dongfang family, or the ancient Feng family?" "Neither, no need to guess, I won't tell you." The great elder shook his head indifferently, as if he didn't want to waste time with the dean. "You can die now." "Wait." Shihan was shocked. She didn't think that a strange old man would come in the middle of the night, and from the looks of it, this old man wasn't weak. The other party wanted to kill her mother, how could Su Shihan agree? She exclaimed and subconsciously raised her head to look at the great elder. She asked nervously, "Senior, are you sure you're not mistaken? My mother has no grudge with you, she's just the dean of an orphanage, why would someone pay to kill her?" "Yeah. Did you make a mistake?" Cheng Yi didn't think that this person would choose to attack when she and Shihan were in the room. And with the Black Horse Gang style of doing things, they either don't make a move, or they don't show mercy. In other words, everyone in this room was going to die. Including her and Shihan. This wasn't what Cheng Yi wanted to see, so she wanted to retreat. "Han, let's go get Mr. Lin." As she spoke, Cheng Yi pulled Su Shihan towards the door. "What? Want to run?" The Grand Elder mockingly looked at Cheng Yi, who was pulling Su Shihan towards the door, and a cold smile appeared on his face. This caused Cheng Yi's footsteps to slow down. Cold sweat immediately broke out on her forehead. "There's no mistake, I don't need you to tell me what to do. And, you guys will die too, everyone in this room will die." The Great Elder looked at Cheng Yi and sneered, "Since you're in a hurry to leave, then you die first. I'll send you on your way." Then. The Great Elder raised his hand and pointed at Cheng Yi, about to kill her. Cheng Yi regretted it. She had only said a few words, and the Grand Elder had shifted his target to her. He was ready to kill her. This made Cheng Yi feel helpless, but there was nothing she could do, she could only force herself to beg, "Let's talk this out. Is it a misunderstanding?" "No." "Are you looking for my mother?" "I am her daughter. Every debt has its debtor. This is my friend. She is an outsider. It has nothing to do with my mother, please let her go. Me and my mother can stay here." Shihan wasn't stupid. The dean was an Earth-class late-phase peak master. She didn't dare to act rashly. The person in front of her must be very powerful, and this person came for her mother. Then, Chang'e was innocent. She didn't want to implicate Chang'e. So, Su Shihan stood in front of Chang'e. He protected Chang'e and said with a determined look in his eyes. Chang'e was stunned. She never thought that Su Shihan would appear at this moment. He stood up for her and stood in front of her. At this moment, Chang'e's nose turned sour. Su Shihan. She treated her like a real sister, but she, thinking of this. Chang'e's tears fell instantly. She stood there, not knowing what to do. At this moment, the great elder made his move. He pointed his finger at Su Shihan. A green chi shot out from the great elder's fingertip towards Su Shihan. That Jin chi was boundless. If it hit Su Shihan's body, she would die for sure. But at this moment, Chang'e moved. Her body appeared in front of Su Shihan at an unbelievable speed. She used her body to block the chi shot out by the great elder. Boom dash, Chang'e's chest had a big hole in it. Chang'e's whole body flew backwards and smashed into Su Shihan, but her speed wasn't affected much. Both of them slammed into the wall, making a muffled sound like thunder. Pfff, Su Shihan spat out a mouthful of blood. Although the Jin Qi didn't land on her as it was blocked by Chang'e, Chang'e's injury was added to Su Shihan's body. Although Su Shihan didn't die, her injuries weren't light. She fell to the ground with blood dripping from the corner of her mouth. Even if she wouldn't die immediately, she wouldn't be able to live. Chang'e was even more so. Although she gritted her teeth and didn't die, she definitely wouldn't be able to live. The reason why she was able to hold on was because she wanted to say sorry to Su Shihan. At this moment, she was going to die. But before she died, she had to say something to her good sister. Otherwise, she wouldn't be able to die in peace. Actually, what happened in the room happened in the blink of an eye. Lin Yi felt at the moment the great elder entered the old dean's room. He reacted immediately. But everything happened too fast. It was just a few words and a few seconds, and the great elder made his move. Lin Yi's chi bomb wasn't compressed yet. He stood at the door anxiously. But he didn't dare to make his move immediately. After all, the compression of the chi bomb needed time. Although the third stage of the art of dragon mastery was much faster than the first and second stage, it couldn't be compressed in a blink of an eye. After all, Lin Yi was an early phase heaven class master. The amount of chi he could compress was much larger. If he compressed it according to the previous amount, he could compress it in a blink of an eye. But it would be useless. After all, that kind of chi bomb was effective against low-level practitioners. But now, Lin Yi was facing a peak late-phase heaven-class master. Even if Lin Yi compressed all the chi in his body, he might not be able to cause much damage to the person in front of him. Let alone the small-scale chi bomb from before. One had to know that a heaven-class master's ultimate move was a landslide. Their body was even more powerful. Lin Yi couldn't help but be more cautious. The person at the door, you've been watching for so long. Come in and die together. Although Lin Yi hid his aura, the great elder could still sense it when he used the art of dragon mastery to compress chi. Lin Yi couldn't help but smile bitterly. It seemed like he had to face it eventually. Moreover, Su Shihan and Chang'e's injuries weren't light. Although they wouldn't die for now, if they weren't treated in time, they would still die. Chapter 32-25. A puny heaven-class early phase actually thinks he's some big shot. The Grand Elder looked at Lin Yi's pretentiousness and found it funny. Did he really think he was some big shot? Didn't anyone tell you that Songshan City and Donghai City are my back garden? You came here to kill people and didn't even tell me? Lin Yi asked indifferently. What do you mean? Your back garden? Who are you? The Grand Elder frowned slightly and felt that something was wrong. This heaven-class early phase master in front of him was a bit too calm, wasn't he? Either he had something to rely on, or he didn't know what was good for him. However, how many cultivators who could reach the early stage of heaven rank were hotheads? Which one of them didn't put in a lot of effort? So the Grand Elder was a bit unsure. Lin Yi, a wandering cultivator. Lin Yi said indifferently and said, "It's your turn to introduce yourself." Lin Yi? You're Lin Yi? The Grand Elder of the Black Horse Gang subconsciously moved to the side as if his tail was stepped on. He said in shock, "You're that Lin Yi? Songshan City and Donghai City, how many Lin Yis are there?" Lin Yi said coldly, "Don't you know that the person I'm protecting is the superstar Su Shihan? For her, I killed Dongfang Yinxing and Pure Yin Tianzuan, and now you beat her until she vomited blood and even want to kill her mother?" The Grand Elder of the Black Horse Gang's heart tightened. Motherfucker, what he was afraid of came true. He came to Songshan City and chose to make a move in the middle of the night to avoid Lin Yi and not attract Lin Yi's attention. After all, Lin Yi was a person who had been rumored to be a godly existence in the ancient world. He was simply a monster, killing a heaven-class late-phase master in a second. Even the Grand Elder himself didn't dare say that he could kill a heaven-class late-phase master in a second. What kind of strength was this? Isn't this a little too powerful? So it's her. However, there was already enmity between them. The Supreme Elder of the Black Horse Association could only look at Lin Yi vigilantly and said, "All right, what do you want? I know you were hired by someone. Tell me who the mastermind is, then leave behind 2 great recover pills and I will let you go." Although Lin Yi's words were very arrogant, they were also considered. He didn't show too much weakness, but he didn't act too tough either. After all, Lin Yi was also afraid that the person in front of him would act in desperation. If he were to directly release the Supreme Elder of the Black Horse Society, it would be inexcusable. However, from the Great Elder's tone, Lin Yi had already guessed that the Great Elder of the Dark Horse Society was standing up for someone else. Otherwise, there was no way he wouldn't know who Su Shihan was. Therefore, Lin Yi used this reason to let the Great Elder go. "Really? If I tell you, you will let me go?" The Great Elder of the Black Horse Society looked at Lin Yi and made a judgment in his heart. "I always keep my words." Lin Yi nodded and said, "I am from the Black Horse Society." The Great Elder of the Black Horse Association hesitated for a moment before replying, "I don't know who issued the mission. I'm only here to accept the mission. I'm the Great Elder of the Black Horse Association. I'm only responsible for solving problems that are difficult to solve. I'm not responsible for accepting missions." "Great recover pill?" Lin Yi nodded. He didn't want to waste time. Su Shihan and Cheng Yi were obviously in urgent need of treatment. "I didn't bring it, but you can think of it as the Black Horse Society owes you. You can come to the Black Horse Society anytime," the Great Elder said. "All right, you can go." Lin Yi go to the Black Horse Society to get it? Lin Yi wouldn't be crazy enough to go to the Black Horse Society to get it. Wasn't that the same as looking for death? It was fine to act tough here and scare the Great Elder. If he went to the Black Horse Society, it was very likely that he would be exposed. "Okay. I will send you on your way." The Great Elder of the Black Horse Society had a trace of a sinister smile on his face. He raised his finger and was about to hit Lin Yi. Lin Yi was extremely shocked. He didn't think that the Great Elder of the Black Horse Society would make a move just like that. A moment ago, he was leaving, and the next moment, he attacked. Could it be that he saw through the flaw? However, no matter what, Lin Yi could only brace himself and fight. The true energy bomb that was compressed by 90% burst out from Lin Yi's hand and hit the Great Elder. However, in order not to destroy the entire dormitory building, Lin Yi still limited the direction of the true energy bomb. He tried to make the angle of the bomb aimed at the direction of the window. This way, it would only hit the Great Elder of the Black Horse Society on the wall and explode outside the wall. It would not blow up the entire building. Although there were no orphans living in this building, and the orphans had all moved to the larger dormitory buildings. This building was only for the managers. The current managers were only the old dean and Yu Xiaoka, but Lin Yi didn't want the money spent on building this building to go down the drain. However, what Lin Yi didn't expect was that before his majestic true energy bomb hit the Great Elder's body, he saw the Great Elder raise his hand. He didn't know what he did, but before the true energy bomb could explode, it was all absorbed into the Great Elder's finger and disappeared without a trace. It was as if Lin Yi didn't activate the true energy bomb at all. Where did the true energy bomb go? Lin Yi was incomparably horrified. In the next moment, from the Great Elder's fingertips, a cyan true energy suddenly shot towards Lin Yi. Lin Yi's reaction was relatively fast. When he was an assassin, he learned the butterfly micro-steps from his master, so he didn't let the true energy hit his vital parts. But even so, the true energy shot from the Great Elder's fingertips still penetrated Lin Yi's left shoulder, shooting a huge bloody hole in Lin Yi's left shoulder. Lin Yi's forehead was covered in cold sweat. It was too painful. He didn't even see what the Great Elder had done, and he was hit. No, he had to use his last life-saving trick. Lin Yi had no other choice. He directly took out the last inescapable net from the space of the jade pendant and covered the Great Elder. That inescapable net was taken out from Lin Yi's space of the jade pendant without any warning. Before the Great Elder could react, he was already wrapped up like a big rice dumpling, unable to move at all. Phew. Looking at the Great Elder of the Dark Horse Society who was covered, Lin Yi let out a long sigh of relief. He quickly activated the third level of the Art of Dragon Mastery to heal the injury on his left shoulder. As he healed, he looked at the Great Elder of the Dark Horse Society. Just now, did I make a mistake? Are you really Lin Yi? The Great Elder of the Dark Horse Society, who was covered by the inescapable net, didn't panic or fear. Instead, he asked very calmly. Chapter 32-26. You're right, but the rumors aren't true. That move you used just now would have killed a Sky-class mid-stage peak, but a Sky-class late-stage peak wouldn't be affected at all, let alone me. The Great Elder said faintly, if you're really Lin Yi, then Pure In Tianzuan and Dongfang Yinxing didn't die in your hands. The one who killed them was someone else. That's right, it was someone else. I'm just puzzled, why would you suspect me? Lin Yi said as he walked towards Su Shihan and Cheng Yi. Both of them were heavily injured, but Cheng Yi's injuries were more severe. At this moment, Cheng Yi's breathing became heavy. She stuttered, Xiaohan. I'm sorry, Yi. Why do you say that? You saved me, why would you be sorry? Su Shihan was confused. But Lin Yi interrupted their conversation. He put his hand on Cheng Yi's pulse and said faintly, shut up if you want to live. Ah. Cheng Yi froze. She didn't think that Lin Yi would save her first and not Su Shihan. It was possible that Lin Yi didn't see through her identity, but she was surprised that he saved her first and not Su Shihan. Xiaohan's injuries aren't as serious as yours. You're dying. Lin Yi didn't care what Cheng Yi was thinking. He activated the third stage of the Art of Dragon Mastery and started healing Cheng Yi. Lin Yi's shoulder injury wasn't healed yet, but it wouldn't affect anything, so Lin Yi started healing Cheng Yi first. Since I accepted this mission and came to Songshan City, I naturally know that there's a person called Lin Yi in Songshan City and Donghai City. This is his territory. The Great Elder of the Black Horse Gang didn't feel like a prisoner at all. It was as if Lin Yi couldn't do anything to him. He just told Lin Yi like he was telling a story, I've researched this person, but what you did just now was different from what you did before. Oh. What did he say? Lin Yi frowned slightly. He didn't expect the Great Elder of the Black Horse Club to be so easy to talk to. He answered truthfully when he asked. It seemed that the Great Elder of the Black Horse Club didn't put Lin Yi in his eyes at all. Actually, it's very simple. I hurt the people around you, and I almost killed them. According to the legendary Lin Yi's character, he would be furious for the sake of his women. If you really had the ability to instantly kill a peak late-stage heaven-rank powerhouse, you would have definitely killed me the moment you appeared. You wouldn't have said so much nonsense. The Supreme Elder of the Black Horse Association was obviously a thoughtful and cautious person. He made his own judgment in an instant. Moreover, you actually agreed to let me go, and the conditions you proposed weren't particularly excessive. This is one of the suspicious points. It doesn't match your greedy personality. Lin Yi nodded. He had realized this before, but there was nothing he could do. Su Shihan and Cheng Yi's lives were in danger. Lin Yi didn't want to argue with the great elder of the Black Horse Club to avoid unnecessary trouble. However, this was only one of the suspicious points, not the most important one. The most important thing was that he was famous for his protective personality. He didn't expect the great elder of the Black Horse Club to see through him. The great elder didn't directly attack him the moment he entered the room. This was the biggest flaw. So you attacked me? Lin Yi nodded and asked. You're that confident? Of course, there's one more thing. When you were at the door just now, you had been circulating the mantra. I could feel it. This also means that you appeared the moment I entered the house, but you didn't come in. You didn't stop me when I made my move. Instead, you only came in after I spoke. This also means that you are afraid of me. The great elder of the Black Horse Club continued. After you came in, you didn't immediately attack. Instead, you continued to use the mantra. This also proves this point. If you really could instantly kill a peak late-stage heaven-rank powerhouse, you wouldn't have to be so nervous to use the mantra. You're showing your fear. So that's how it is. Lin Yi smiled bitterly. This was another big flaw that wasn't any less than the previous one. So, in summary, these three suspicious points make me sure that you're just an empty shell. The great elder of the Black Horse Club said indifferently. However, if I didn't have a trump card, even if I had doubts, I wouldn't have attacked you directly. I would have left this place and wouldn't have caused unnecessary trouble. But I have a trump card. This is the biggest reason I attacked. The suspicious point is that I'm just an assistant. After listening to the words of the great elder of the Black Horse Club, Lin Yi couldn't help but suck in a breath of cold air. This person was really smart and calm. If he didn't get rid of this person, he would probably be a big problem in the future. However, how could he get rid of him? In fact, from the moment Lin Yi used the inescapable net to trap the great elder of the Black Horse Club, he had been thinking about how to get rid of him. With Lin Yi's strength, he couldn't kill him at all. Even if he was trapped by the inescapable net, he had true chi to protect his body. No matter how Lin Yi hit him, he wouldn't be able to kill him. And he also said that the power of Lin Yi's current moves couldn't cause him any harm. This was the thing that Lin Yi was most conflicted about. He had obviously caught the other party, but he couldn't do anything to him. It was estimated that the great elder of the Black Horse Club was well aware of this. That was why he was fearless and indifferently talked to Lin Yi. Your so-called trump card was the one that sucked away my true chi? Lin Yi asked. Yes. The great elder of the Black Horse Club didn't hide it. He directly nodded and said, Aren't you going to run? Why are you dawdling here? Don't you know that the inescapable net has a time limit? Time limit? Lin Yi was slightly surprised. He hadn't heard the Spider Clan mention it before. Generally, people who were trapped by the inescapable net couldn't escape from the inside. They would need help from the outside to open the inescapable net. But when it came to time limit, Lin Yi really didn't know. But thinking about it, this thing was a one-time use and had a lifespan. It was impossible to trap the great elder of the Black Horse Club for a lifetime, right? Chapter 32-27. Lin Yi's face was a little ugly, but what the Grand Elder said was the truth. Where could he run to? Unless he took Su Shihan, Cheng Yi, and the Dean to the West Star Village to take refuge, but there was still a big mess here. He couldn't just ignore it, right? How long does it last? Lin Yi asked with an ugly face. Looking at the quality of your inescapable net, it should last for a day, but if I struggle inside, it will only last a few hours. The Grand Elder said, it's just that I don't want to waste my effort. You can't do anything to me at all, why should I waste my effort? It seems that you are quite confident. Lin Yi was a little helpless. Indeed, with his own strength, he couldn't do anything to the Grand Elder of the Black Horse Society, even his underlings couldn't do anything. Even if a group of people attacked together, they wouldn't be able to cause any damage to the Grand Elder. After all, they weren't on the same level. Just like a group of ants couldn't shake an elephant, with one stomp of the elephant, the ants would die. However, Lin Yi's mind turned quickly, and he thought of a few people, but he didn't know if these people could help him. The people that Lin Yi knew who could kill the Grand Elder of the Black Horse Society were limited. Other than Old Lin and Air Gooden who were far away in the West Star Village, there were a few people from the blood-clothed underworld sect. But distant water couldn't put out a nearby fire. Old Lin couldn't come, and even if Air Gooden came, it would take too long. So, the people that Lin Yi could only ask for help were those from the blood-clothed underworld sect. Thinking of this, Lin Yi could only give it a try. He dialed the number left by the blood-clothed underworld sect's sinister ancestor to see if they could help him kill someone. They were an organization that accepted payment to kill people. If Lin Yi paid a certain price, he should be able to get their help, right? Mr. Lin, hello. When Ancestor Yin Sun saw that it was Lin Yi's number, he immediately answered. His words were very polite. Because of Lin Dongfang's existence, he didn't dare to be disrespectful to Lin Yi. However, he did not dare to go overboard. He could only put on a flattering expression and speak in a calm tone. Old Ancestor Yin Sun, can I ask you to help me kill someone? Lin Yi asked. Originally, when the Supreme Elder of the Black Horse Club saw Lin Yi making a call, he didn't pay much attention. He also knew about Lin Yi's circle of friends. Although he had many underlings, the most powerful ones were only Feng Shipian and a few other ancient people. These people couldn't pose any threat to him, so he wasn't afraid at all. However, his heart skipped a beat when he heard old ancestor Eerie Wood's name. Isn't he from the blood-clothed Yellow Spring sect? Lin Yi called them. What did this mean? Did he want to hire an assassin from the Yellow Spring sect to kill him? However, after thinking about it, the Supreme Elder of the Black Horse Club calmed down. Old Ancestor Yin Sun was just an expert at the peak of the late stage of heaven class. He hadn't reached the great perfection realm yet. Even if he came, he wouldn't be able to kill him with his true chi protection. And if he sent other underlings, then there was even less to worry about. The most worrying ones were the two peak of the late stage of heaven class, Old Ancestor Yellow Spring and Old Ancestor Blood Clothed. However, could these two old ancestors be invited by just anyone? These two old ancestors were existences at the same level as him. They wouldn't be interested in ordinary missions. Moreover, these big shots were very reserved. It was impossible for them to come out just because someone invited them. Moreover, the blood-clothed Yellow Spring sect was far from Songshan City. Even if the two peak of the late stage of heaven class, Old Ancestor Yellow Spring sect came out, by the time they arrived, he would have already escaped from the inescapable net. There was nothing to worry about. However, the Supreme Elder of the Black Horse Club was obviously an astute and cautious person. He wouldn't allow any deviation. Therefore, when Lin Yi made the call, he began to struggle in the inescapable net. He wanted to escape from the inescapable net as soon as possible, lest Lin Yi really hired an assassin to kill him. According to his estimation, he would struggle for about 3 hours to escape from the inescapable net. The blood-clothed Yellow Spring sect would need at least 7 to 8 hours to get here. Therefore, after weighing the pros and cons, he still wouldn't be in any danger. Oh. Kill someone? Kill who? Mr. Lin wants to hire us, the blood-clothed Yellow Spring sect, to assassinate someone, right? Old Ancestor Yin Sun was slightly stunned. He didn't expect Lin Yi to hire them to kill someone. However, in order to put on a good show, old ancestor Yin Sen couldn't act too impatient. He couldn't say that as soon as Lin Yi called to kill someone, he would say yes, yes, yes. That would be too pretentious and would easily expose him. Yes, this person is the Supreme Elder of the Black Horse Club. He has the strength of a peak of the late stage of heaven class. I've already used the inescapable net to trap him, but I can't kill him. Your blood-clothed Yellow Springs sect just needs to get the blood-clothed ancestor and old ancestor Yellow Springs sect to join forces and kill him. Lin Yi quickly explained in detail. He had already seen the Supreme Elder of the Black Horse Club struggling in the inescapable net. He didn't dare to be negligent. If the Supreme Elder struggled out, it would be a disaster. Therefore, he said concisely, the mission isn't dangerous, and it's relatively easy. How about it? Are you interested, old ancestor Yin Sen? Lin Yi had been an assassin before, so he knew some of the rules. The easier the mission, the lower the reward. However, because of the special level of the person to be killed, 2 important people were needed. The reason why Lin Yi called the people from the blood-clothed Yellow Springs sect was because they were practitioners and could run quickly. Old Lin and Air Gooden could only take the train. In comparison, the people from the blood-clothed Yellow Springs sect could come faster. Ah, it's the Supreme Elder of the Black Horse Club. That's great. Mr. Lin, we were just wondering if we should accept this mission. You've really helped us a lot. Old ancestor Yin Sen's heart skipped a beat when he heard that it was the Supreme Elder of the Black Horse Club. Cold sweat appeared on his forehead. Dereliction of duty. The 3 of them were stationed in Donghai City, researching Lin Yi's whereabouts, personality, and social circle. Naturally, they would pay more attention to the things happening around here. A peak of the late stage of heaven class appeared right under their noses. Naturally, they would pay attention to it. However, when they heard that the Supreme Elder of the Black Horse Club appeared to kill the old dean of an orphanage, they didn't pay much attention to it. After all, the Black Horse Club and the blood-clothed Yellow Springs sect were in the same industry. They were all on the same level, and there was no need to ruin their friendship over a small matter. Chapter 32-28. They hadn't investigated the relationship between the orphanage and Lin Yi, and they didn't know that the old dean was Su Shihan's mother. Therefore, they didn't care at all, and only treated the Black Horse Gang's Grand Elder as a passerby. However, after receiving Lin Yi's call, they realized that they were wrong, ridiculously wrong. The Black Horse Gang's Grand Elder actually went against Lin Yi, and after Lin Yi caught him, he even hired the Blood Cloth Underworld Gang's people to kill the Black Horse Gang's Grand Elder. How much hatred did he have? What if Lin Yi didn't have an inescapable net? Wouldn't he be killed by this old thing? Thinking of this, Yin Sen ancestor was drenched in cold sweat. How could he dare to ask for a reward from Lin Yi? Therefore, he acted according to the situation and said so. Did I help? What did I help? Lin Yi was slightly stunned. It's like this, we are not far from here. We came here because someone gave us a new mission. The reward is very high, but the difficulty is also very high. It is to kill the Black Horse Gang's Grand Elder. The Eerie Forest ancestor said, this person is an expert at the peak of the late stage of heaven rank. We don't have the confidence to kill him without suffering any losses in a head-on clash. So when we were discussing a plan, Mr. Lin brought us good news. How about this, we will go over immediately. Count it as our Blood Cloth Underworld gang owes Mr. Lin a favor. If Mr. Lin needs anything in the future, contact me directly. After saying that, Yin Sen ancestor hung up the phone without waiting for Lin Yi to say anything. Obviously, Yin Sen ancestor knew that time was pressing and didn't dare to delay. However, Lin Yi looked at the phone in his hand in a daze, smiling bitterly in his heart. What is this? This is too strange. I originally wanted to hire the Blood Cloth Underworld gang to kill people, but I don't know if they would agree or what conditions they would propose. He was originally worried, but now he had inexplicably become the helper of the blood-clothed underworld sect. Not only did they send people to kill the supreme elder of the Black Horse Gang, but they also said that they owed him a favor. Lin Yi shook his head. Strange things happened every year. The Yellow Springs sect had a lot of bloodshed. It was the same last time. However, Lin Yi felt that the people from the Blood Underworld sect were very good. If the other party did not say anything and instead agreed to Lin Yi's request, not only could they earn a commission from Lin Yi, but they would also not owe Lin Yi a favor. Moreover, they could complete their mission of killing the Supreme Elder of the Black Horse Gang. It was killing 3 birds with 1 stone. However, the Blood-Cloth Yellow Springs sect didn't do so. What a kind sect. Of course, this was just Lin Yi's impression. He wondered if other cultivators, sects, and families who had dealings with the Blood-Cloth Yellow Springs sect would vomit blood. Was the Blood-Cloth Yellow Springs sect kind? Honest my ass. How could this kind of assassin organization talk about favors with you? Was he sleep-talking? However, Lin Yi didn't know much about the ancient world. He didn't know what the Blood-Cloth Yellow Springs sect was like in the past. After these 2 encounters, he felt that the Blood-Cloth Yellow Springs sect was really a good person. Looking at the struggling Supreme Elder of the Black Horse Gang in front of him, Lin Yi's mouth curved into a mocking smile. If the Blood-Cloth Yellow Springs sect was on the other side of the sect, they would have rushed over quickly. However, Lin Yi was still worried. He didn't know if the Supreme Elder of the Black Horse Gang would be able to struggle out of the trap. But now, he didn't have to worry about this because the Blood-Cloth Yellow Springs sect was nearby. Cheng Yi didn't expect Lin Yi to know someone from the Blood-Cloth Yellow Springs sect. She was a bit surprised, but she felt her injuries gradually getting better. Her heart was filled with guilt. If she had died just now, she would have died. But now, she was alive again. How would she face Su Shihan in the future? Alright, you won't die. Earth Class Early Phase Master. Lin Yi faintly whispered in Cheng Yi's ear. He used Jin Qi to transmit sound so others couldn't hear. However, Cheng Yi's face flashed a trace of astonishment. Lin Yi actually knew her strength level? That wasn't right, she'd never shown it in front of him before. How did Lin Yi know? Even when Lin Yi healed her, she didn't use Jin Qi to heal herself. And before, when she took the blow from the Supreme Elder of the Black Horse Gang, she did use Jin Qi to protect her body. But at that time, Lin Yi hadn't entered the door yet. And there was so much Jin Qi in the room. There was the deans and the Supreme Elders. Lin Yi shouldn't be able to tell who was who, right? Lin Yi, how did he know? However, being surprised was just being surprised. Before she could ask, Lin Yi had already turned to heal Su Shihan. He didn't give Cheng Yi a chance to ask. The Supreme Elder of the Black Horse Gang kept struggling in the net. The defense of the net was very good. No matter how the Supreme Elder used his moves, it was like hitting cotton. Moreover, the net was one way. It couldn't be attacked from the inside, but it could be attacked from the outside. So this was the reason why the Supreme Elder was struggling so hard. He wanted to break free and escape. Right now, whether or not he could kill Lin Yi and these people in front of him was no longer important. For the Supreme Elder of the Black Horse Gang, escaping was the most important thing. He didn't want to die in the hands of the blood-clothed Yellow Springs sect. However, how could the net of the Spider Clan be broken so easily? The Great Flame Lion Clan's ability to spit fire from the inside was limited. Only when a few Great Flame Lions spit fire from the outside could it be broken. No matter how powerful the Grand Supreme Elder of the Dark Horse Association was, he was still a human cultivator. Compared to those powerful spirit beasts, there was still a difference. Previously, he also heard Lin Yi's phone call. He was a peak late-stage heaven-class master. The room was very quiet. It wasn't difficult to hear the voice of the gloomy ancestor from Lin Yi's phone. He didn't understand. Why did the blood-clothed Yellow Spring sect receive a mission to kill him? Who wanted to kill him? He was the supreme elder of the Black Horse Gang. He rarely left the sect. During this time, he didn't have any enmity with anyone. So, which bastard hired the blood-clothed Yellow Spring sect to kill him? What made him most depressed was that the blood-clothed ancestor, and the gloomy ancestor were all nearby. Then if they came, wouldn't he be dead? How could there be such an unlucky thing in this world? So, he didn't care about what Lin Yi said. All threats were useless. The only thing he could do was to break free and escape. Chapter 32-29. He took in a deep breath, and a mocking smile appeared on his lips. What were you doing just now, trying to cram for the Buddha's feet? If you didn't talk nonsense with me just now, you might have escaped by now. Of course, even if the Grand Elder didn't talk nonsense just now, he definitely wouldn't be able to escape now. Lin Yi's words were just to disturb his mind, so that the Grand Elder wouldn't be able to escape in one piece. In fact, although Lin Yi was mocking him, his eyes didn't even blink as he stared at the inescapable net. When the inescapable net loosened a little, he would escape immediately. At this time, Xiaoke and Xiao Ken also heard the movement and came to the door of the room. However, when they saw the strange scene inside, they didn't dare to rashly enter the door. The Dean, on the other hand, didn't know what to say at this moment. She was a little dumbfounded looking at everything that was happening in front of her. Dean, take Xiaohan, Yi, and Xiaoke away from here first. Go somewhere else to rest. Lin Yi said to the Dean because Lin Yi couldn't guarantee that the Grand Elder wouldn't be able to escape from the inescapable net before the people from the Blood Cloak Underworld sect arrived. If he really did escape, then it would be fucked. He had to hold back at all times. Moreover, when the people from the Blood Cloak Underworld sect came to kill the Grand Elder, the process would definitely be very bloody. After all, if he didn't die in one hit, they would have to fight many times. That would be a bit cruel. Okay, I understand. The Dean nodded. She knew that they were causing trouble for Lin Yi by staying here. If there was trouble later, Lin Yi would have to take care of them, and it would be easy to be distracted. So, the Dean came back to her senses and brought Su Shihan, Cheng Yi, and Xiaoke out of the room. Although Su Shihan and Cheng Yi had a lot of questions to ask Lin Yi, they knew it wasn't the right time. After the Dean and the others left, Lin Yi let out a sigh of relief. He looked at the backs of these people until they disappeared. Only then did he turn his head to look at the Supreme Elder of the Black Horse Gang. Hey, you're about to die. Tell me the truth. I don't believe that the Black Horse Gang didn't tell you who sent you on this mission before you left. Humph. The Supreme Elder of the Black Horse Association obviously didn't put Lin Yi in his eyes. He coldly snorted and didn't say anything. Hee hee. Lin Yi frowned slightly and chuckled. He knew that he wouldn't be able to get anything out of him. It would be extremely difficult to pry any secrets out of an expert like the Supreme Elder of the Black Horse Association. If he didn't want to say it, it would be useless no matter how much you asked. Time passed minute by minute. Even though Lin Yi was burning with anxiety, he didn't show it. On the other hand, the Supreme Elder of the Black Horse Association was burning with anxiety. He had struggled for more than 20 minutes, but this inescapable net was still tightly binding his body. It didn't loosen the slightest bit, which made him a little discouraged. If the people from the Blood Cloak Underworld sect were really nearby, half an hour was more than enough for these peak late phase and peak late phase heaven class masters. Sure enough, there was the sound of hurried footsteps coming from the corridor. The next moment, the Blood Cloak Ancestor, the Underworld Ancestor, and the Eerie Ancestor appeared at the door. The Supreme Elder of the Black Horse Association struggled for a while, but when he saw the three people at the door, he stopped struggling. He was a little disappointed because he knew that no matter how much he struggled, it was useless. The three people in front of him together could kill him. Even if he had true chi protecting his body, these three people took turns to attack him. He would die without a doubt. He was a person who planned before taking action. Since he knew the result, he wouldn't struggle needlessly. Who sent you to kill me? Our Black Horse Association and the Blood Cloak Underworld sect are similar in nature. We have always minded our own business. You know my identity and still came to kill me. Are you trying to start a feud? The Supreme Elder of the Black Horse Association gave up struggling and changed to a way to talk about feelings. Does the Black Horse Association have a business that reveals the identity of the employer? The eerie ancestor looked at the Supreme Elder of the Black Horse Association indifferently and said, "Why don't you tell me who sent you first?" The words of the eerie ancestor seemed to be sarcastic, but in fact, he was helping Lin Yi figure out the truth. He didn't know if Lin Yi knew the mastermind behind the scenes, but there was no harm in asking. This. If I say it, you'll say it? The Supreme Elder of the Black Horse Association was slightly stunned, but he asked mockingly. Sure, I'll say it if you say it. The eerie ancestor said indifferently. Good. I was sent by the ancient Feng family's Feng Tianhu. You should say it now, right? In order to know the truth, the Supreme Elder of the Black Horse Association didn't intend to keep it a secret. He didn't want to die without knowing why. At least before he died, he should at least know how he died. The ancient Feng family's Feng Tianhu? I don't know him. The eerie ancestor shook his head as if he didn't care at all. Then he said, actually, it's not impossible to let you die knowing, but I'm afraid you won't be able to bear it. In fact, the person who hired us to kill you is the Black Horse Association. What? The Supreme Elder of the Black Horse Association's eyes narrowed, and a trace of disbelief flashed in his eyes. But then it became fierce. The president hired you? The president that the Supreme Elder of the Black Horse Association mentioned was naturally the leader of the Black Horse Association. The leader had recently advanced to the peak late stage of heaven rank, which meant that his authority was no longer restricted by the Supreme Elder. He had become the real boss of the Black Horse Association. However, the Great Elder of the Black Horse Association had displayed some dissatisfaction and unnecessary respect for him before. And the other Great Elders had very well adjusted their attitudes. Perhaps, this was the reason why he wanted to kill him? In fact, this wasn't a contradiction at all. Even if the president of the Black Horse Association had water in his head, it was impossible for him to spend a large sum of money to kill a fierce member of his own association. This kind of peak late-stage heaven rank expert was not common. How could he die so casually? But at this time, the Supreme Elder of the Black Horse Association believed it because he didn't doubt the words of the eerie ancestor. After all, the Blood Cloth Underworld sect was the same as the Black Horse Association. They were an organization that took money to eliminate disasters. It was impossible for the Blood Cloth Underworld sect to kill him for no reason, unless they had nothing better to do. So when the eerie ancestor said it, he used his rich imagination and blamed his death on the president. Chapter 32:30. It's useless for me to say who it is. It's a small fry that we don't know. You know that our Blood Cloth Underworld sect is different from you guys. We don't need any promises. As long as the reward is enough, we will make our move. We won't ask too many questions. The shady forest ancestor waved his hand. He didn't expect that his casual words would actually hit the mark. This guy had a conflict with the leader of the Black Horse Society? Then there was no need to waste words. Small fry? The Great Elder of the Black Horse Society froze. He didn't suspect anything. How could a small fry from the Black Horse Society spend money to assassinate him? To be able to get the three ancestors of the Blood Cloth Underworld sect to make a move, how much would it cost? Feng Tianhu spent 5 billion and a promise to get a Great Elder to make a move. If the three ancestors of the Blood Cloth Underworld sect were to make a move, and they didn't need promises, it would be at least 20 billion. There was no one else in the Black Horse Society who could take out 20 billion other than the leader. There was only one person in the entire Black Horse Society who could take out 20 billion. I know. Do it. Give me a quick death. The great elder of the Black Horse Society sighed and gave up resisting. He didn't even use his chi to protect his body. He knew that even if he did, it was only a matter of time before he died. If the opponent hit him a few more times, he would still die. Since the outcome was already decided, there was no difference. He didn't have the mood to resist. He might as well let the opponent give him a quick death. Straightforward. The Shady Forest Ancestor was stunned and nodded. Without saying anything else, the Blood Cloth Ancestor, the Yellow Spring Ancestor, and the Shady Forest Ancestor stepped forward and surrounded the Great Elder of the Black Horse Society. At the same time, they started chanting. For a moment, the pressure of the chi in the room made Lin Yi feel like he couldn't breathe. Too strong. Lin Yi's own injuries hadn't healed yet. He just didn't have any life-threatening danger, so he quickly went to heal Cheng Yi and Su Shihan. At this moment, 2 peak late phase heaven class masters and 1 peak late phase heaven class master were chanting together. Lin Yi was so close that he almost couldn't hold it and spat out a mouthful of blood. Pfft! The Great Elder of the Black Horse Society looked at Lin Yi indifferently and shook his head. It seemed that the rumors were wrong. It seemed that Lin Yi was familiar with the Blood Cloth Underworld sect. Perhaps the 2 peak late phase heaven class masters were hired by Lin Yi to kill them. The Grand Elder of the Black Horse Gang knew that Lin Yi was rich. That cauldron could be sold for hundreds of millions, even billions. It was more than enough to hire the Blood Cloak Underworld sect to kill people. He didn't know that Lin Yi donated to the orphanage. He thought that the money was Lin Yi's. However, even if he guessed this conclusion, he wouldn't be able to send out the message. He would die in the next moment. The pressure in the air made Lin Yi breathless. He quickly used the 3rd level of the Art of Dragon Mastery to resist it. Although Lin Yi knew that the chi pressure of these 3 people wasn't targeting Lin Yi was too close. He was affected. This was the so-called getting shot while lying down. The Shady Forest Ancestor also noticed Lin Yi's situation, but he didn't care because they weren't targeting Lin Yi. Lin Yi could have left the room. Lin Yi didn't go out, which meant that he could still bear it. Naturally, they wouldn't worry. It was estimated that Lin Yi wanted to see the Great Elder of the Black Horse Society die with his own eyes. The Shady Forest Ancestor and the others didn't dare to be careless. Although the Great Elder of the Black Horse Society had already said that he would give him a quick death, which meant that he was waiting for death. After all, this was the first time in their lives that they were about to kill an expert at the peak of the late stage of Heaven stage. They were a little nervous, afraid that something would go wrong. Therefore, they didn't make a move directly. Instead, they gathered their strength and prepared to use their strongest move at the same time to directly send the Great Elder of the Black Horse Society away. The reason why Lin Yi didn't leave was not because he wanted to see the Great Elder of the Black Horse Society killed. There was no need to watch at all. There was no suspense at all. The Great Elder of the Black Horse Society was facing 2 experts at the peak of the late stage of Heaven stage and 1 expert at the peak of the late stage. Needless to say, the Great Elder of the Black Horse Society had already given up resisting. Even if he didn't give up resisting, he would die without a doubt. While Lin Yi was circulating the mantra here, he actually felt a glimmer of an opportunity for a breakthrough in strength. Previously, when Lin Yi fought with the Great Elder of the Black Horse Society, he was always in a state of tension. This kind of struggle that exceeded the limits of his body brought Lin Yi physical overdraft, but it also brought an opportunity for his strength to improve a step further. However, the difference in strength between Lin Yi and the Great Elder of the Black Horse Society was too great. The 2 only exchanged 1 move, and Lin Yi had no choice but to use the inescapable net, or else he would definitely die. This made Lin Yi very depressed. He had clearly touched the edge of the barrier, and as long as he put in a little effort, he would definitely break through. However, it came to an abrupt stop at the critical moment. This made Lin Yi feel bitter but unable to say it out loud. However, at this time, the 3 of them, Blood Cloak Ancestor, netherworld ancestor, and gloomy ancestor, were circulating the mantra together. The pressure brought by this true energy was not a joke. While Lin Yi was shocked, he was also surprised and happy. The opportunity that was just a little bit away from was touched by Lin Yi again. Although the combined strength of these three people far exceeded the great elder of the Black Horse Society, the target of these three people was not Lin Yi. Lin Yi was only affected by the aftershock. And the aftershock of one person could not cause such great pressure to Lin Yi, but it was the aftershock of three people. Although for Lin Yi, 3 people was a little too much, and 2 was just right, but Lin Yi did not care so much. It was not easy to get an opportunity, and Lin Yi would not easily give up. If he gave up, who knew when the next opportunity would come? And although the pressure of these 3 people was great, it was not that Lin Yi could not bear it. He could barely resist it, but it was a little hard, and it was easy to vomit blood from internal injuries. Of course, internal injuries and vomiting blood were not afraid of Lin Yi, as long as he could level up. As for injuries, with the art of dragon mastery in the space of the jade pendant, it was easy to recover. Therefore, Lin Yi did not leave, but desperately circulated the mantra to resist the true energy pressure of the 3 ancestors. Although Gloomy Ancestor was puzzled by Lin Yi's action, he did not say much. In his opinion, Lin Yi was smarter than anyone else. At this time, he did not leave, but vomited blood to resist. There must be a reason for Lin Yi, so let him do as he pleased. Chapter 32-31. Under the command of the Blood Cloak Ancestor, the Netherworld Ancestor and the Gloomy Ancestor also sped up the circulation of the mantra. At the same time, the true chi around their bodies also rose to a very powerful level. Pfft! Lin Yi spat out a mouthful of blood again. This kind of pressure squeezed the meridians in Lin Yi's body, as if they were paralyzed. However, the true chi in the meridians urged them to expand continuously. This pressure and expansion almost made Lin Yi's whole body explode, so he spat out a mouthful of blood. However, at this moment, the meridians in Lin Yi's body suddenly began to shake violently, and there was a loud bang in Lin Yi's whole body, like a flood bursting through a dam. The true chi in his body seemed to have broken through some barrier and began to quickly cover every corner of Lin Yi's body. Breakthrough. Lin Yi took a deep breath and did not dare to be negligent. He quickly circulated the art of dragon mastery to stabilize the true chi in his body. Because he felt that there was an even greater pressure coming from behind. Although Lin Yi had just broken through and became an expert with the strength of the early stage of Heaven stage, the simultaneous attacks of the Blood Cloak Ancestor, the Netherworld Ancestor and the Gloomy Ancestor were no joke. Lin Yi did not want to be tragically killed by the aftershocks of these 3 people's big moves just after his breakthrough. That would be as miserable as it could be. However, it was too late for Lin Yi to escape. All of this happened in the blink of an eye. The 3 elders made their moves, unleashing their ultimate skills at the Grand Elder of the Black Horse Society. Boom! Under this powerful blow, the Dark Horse Society's Great Elder closed his eyes peacefully, a trace of blood flowing from the corner of his mouth. Obviously, although he was dead, he was still an expert with the strength of the late stage of Heaven stage great perfection. His body was not broken into pieces. On the other hand, Lin Yi was unlucky. He had just broken through, but he had to forcibly circulate the mantra to resist this even more powerful pressure. In an instant, Lin Yi's resistance was raised to the limit. He had no choice but to use his most powerful true chi to protect himself from the aftermath of this pressure. However, even so, Lin Yi's entire body was pushed out by the aftermath of this coercion. He flew directly out of the window, fell directly from upstairs to downstairs, and landed heavily on the cement floor, making a dull loud noise. Lin Yi was in a daze from the fall. His internal organs had shifted positions, and his bones and meridians were mostly damaged. If it was someone else, they would have died very quickly. The pressure of 3 peak late-stage Heaven rank experts wasn't a joke, not to mention that 2 of them were perfection stage experts. However, even though Lin Yi was about to die, the corners of his mouth revealed a surprised and delighted smile. Lin Yi actually touched the barrier of heaven rank middle stage. How was this possible? Although Lin Yi didn't believe that he could stabilize the strength of the peak early stage heaven rank in an instant and touch the barrier of heaven rank middle stage, but that feeling in that instant could not be wrong. It was indeed the barrier of heaven rank middle stage. It turned out that the potential of a cultivator was limitless. When facing the powerful pressure of 3 top experts, Lin Yi successfully achieved transcendence and breakthrough. Not only did he stabilize his newly promoted strength in an instant, but he also accumulated true qi in an instant and touched the barrier of heaven rank middle stage. Although, to advance to heaven rank middle stage still needed a period of time or an opportunity, he had already touched the barrier. Would it be any further to advance? Of course, only Lin Yi dared to use this method of transcendence and breakthrough. If it was any other cultivator, they would have died at this moment. Even if they transcended themselves, what was the use? This kind of injury could only be healed by Lin Yi himself. Even a recover pill would be useless. After the joy, Lin Yi quickly ran the 3rd level of the Art of Dragon Mastery and began to quickly repair his damaged body, meridians, and bones. These were not a problem for Lin Yi. Lin Yi meditated on the concrete floor below the dormitory. However, Lin Yi was knocked out of the window by the pressure of true qi and fell downstairs, which shocked the Blood Cloak Ancestor, the Underworld Ancestor, and the Gloomy Ancestor. Oh my god, I just wanted to kill the Great Elder of the Black Horse Gang in one move, but I ignored Lin Yi. Now that Lin Yi was killed, their death was probably coming soon. Could Lin Dongfang spare them? Could Yang Ming let them go? If either one of them came, these 3 would have to bear the consequences. Let's see how Master Lin Yi is. The Gloomy Ancestor reacted the fastest. He couldn't care less about the body of the Black Horse Gang's Great Elder. He jumped directly from the window, and the Blood Cloak Ancestor and the Underworld Ancestor followed closely. They were also nervous. Originally, they came to curry favor, but now they didn't do it properly. Lin Yi was killed. This was bad luck. However, Elder Yin Sen heaved a sigh of relief when he saw Lin Yi meditating downstairs, breathing evenly. He could feel that Lin Yi was running the mantra, and his strength had just broken through to the peak of the early stage of heaven stage. It seemed that Lin Yi was fine. What the Gloomy Ancestor could feel, the Blood Cloak Ancestor and the Underworld Ancestor could also feel, so these 3 simply became Lin Yi's protectors. They stationed themselves beside Lin Yi and waited for Lin Yi to return to reality from the state of meditation. Although Lin Yi was cultivating, he could also feel the arrival of the Gloomy Ancestor and the other 2, and they actually protected him. This made Lin Yi very surprised. He thought that they would leave after killing people. He didn't expect them to be so loyal and kind. The 3rd level of the Art of Dragon Mastery's healing speed was very fast. Although Lin Yi was seriously injured, he recovered quickly. Soon, Lin Yi opened his eyes, stood up, and cupped his fist to the 3 ancestors sitting beside him. Thank you, 3 ancestors, for protecting me. Ah, Mr. Lin Yi, are you okay? When the Gloomy Ancestor saw Lin Yi standing in front of him full of energy, he immediately breathed a sigh of relief, but his heart was full of admiration. He is indeed the grandson of Lin Dongfang, the disciple of Mr. Yang Ming. He is so powerful. He can break through in the pressure and heal himself. But thinking about it, how could these 2 juniors that he valued be bad? The reason she became a celebrity was to find her mother. Now that she had found her mother, she started to think about retreating. She didn't care about the gossip anymore. She liked Lin Yi, and that was it. There was no need to hide it. But Su Shihan didn't know if she still had a chance. Thinking about it, she felt like a failure. She was a star, but Lin Yi never treated her like one. In Lin Yi's mind, she was just a normal friend, right? Lin Yi, thank you. Cheng Yi looked at Lin Yi guiltily. She didn't know what to say. Lin Yi knew that she was an Earth class. Did Lin Yi know about the things he had done to Xiaohan? Did he know? Didn't he know? Cheng Yi didn't know, but she felt bad in her heart. But, a lot of times, people couldn't help themselves, right? Lin Yi nodded, but his eyes didn't stay on Cheng Yi for long. He didn't want Su Shihan to notice anything. He planned to talk to Cheng Yi when there was no one else around, so he turned to the dean and said, "Dean, it's okay, take them to rest." This great elder of the Black Horse Gang was found by Feng Tianhu from the ancient Feng family. I don't think I need to say why he looked for you. As for Feng Tianhu, I will find him. But, I hope that everyone can keep the details of what happened tonight a secret. Although Lin Yi didn't say it clearly, everyone knew what Lin Yi was talking about. It was Lin Yi's true strength. The rumor that Lin Yi could kill a heaven-class late-phase peak was just a rumor. Lin Yi wasn't that powerful. If it wasn't for the Blood Cloak Yellow Spring sect, Lin Yi really wouldn't be able to do anything. I understand. OL Amos nodded solemnly. We won't say anything, right, Xiaohan? Yes. Su Shihan nodded. Then we'll go upstairs and take care of the corpses. We'll talk about the rest tomorrow, okay? Lin Yi nodded and said to the dean. Okay. The dean was tired as well. He nodded and brought Su Shihan and the others to rest. Xiaoka, on the other hand, didn't say anything. When Lin Yi turned around and was about to leave, Xiaoka suddenly said, Lin Yi, I will keep my promise. Xiaoka made a decision at this moment. She wanted to tell the male thief that she had made up her mind. Lin Yi was a good person, and Xiaoka didn't want to cheat his feelings anymore. What? Lin Yi paused. He knew the answer, but he still asked. No. Nothing. Xiaoka was a little discouraged. Did Lin Yi really not hear what she said? Lin Yi, Blood Cloak Ancestor, Yellow Spring Ancestor, and Insan Ancestor went upstairs and arrived at the door of the broken room. The body of the Black Horse Gang's Grand Elder was lying quietly in the room. This was a hero of his generation, a top-level practitioner. It was a pity that he died here. Net of heaven and earth. Too bad it's a one-time use. I can't use it again. Lin Yi looked at the net of heaven and earth on the Grand Elder and sighed. It was a pity. But this guy has a good treasure. Compared to your net of heaven and earth, it's not bad. Old Ancestor Insan pointed at the Supreme Elder of the Black Horse Gang and said. The divine weapons of these top-notch experts were all listed in the primordial era. Old Ancestor Insan of the blood-clothed Yellow Spring sect naturally knew about them. It wasn't that Lin Yi was being polite, but the truth was that he didn't think that the favor he owed them was worth a sky-class weapon like this. Although this weapon seemed to be a support-type weapon, its value wasn't to be underestimated. Back when he exchanged with Shuegu, it could be seen how valuable a heaven-grade weapon was. Therefore, Lin Yi did not want to take advantage of the Blood Cloak Underworld sect. Since it's a favor, then there's no need to care about the value of the item. A favor is worthless. Blood Cloak Ancestor waved his hand and said, so it's settled? This. Lin Yi pondered for a moment and then made a decision. He took out the gale-chasing lightning boots from the space in the jade pendant and placed it in front of Blood Cloak Ancestor. Blood Cloak Ancestor, it's not good for me to take advantage of you. This is a pair of gale-chasing lightning boots. I believe you are familiar with it because it belongs to the Blood Cloak Underworld sect. I will now return it to its original owner. To be honest, the gale-chasing lightning boots were also a good item, but it was snatched from the Blood Cloak Underworld sect. Moreover, Lin Yi did not know how to use it, so it was useless to keep it. It was impossible for him to ask the Blood Cloak Underworld sect how to use it. This item originally belonged to them. How could Lin Yi ask them how to use it? Wasn't this the same as slapping his face? It was a bit too much to ask them how to use it after snatching it. Especially since Lin Yi had a good relationship with the Blood Cloak Underworld sect, it was even more inappropriate to ask. Now was a suitable opportunity to return it to the Blood Cloak Underworld sect. Lin Yi would not feel that he owed the Blood Cloak Underworld sect too much. However, to Lin Yi's surprise, Blood Cloak Ancestor glanced at the gale-chasing lightning boots and said, "Oh, since it's your loot, it's yours. Yin Sen, make a copy of the chant and give it to Mr. Lin Yi." Ah. Lin Yi was completely dumbfounded. These people from Blood Cloak Yellow Spring were too kind, weren't they? Or could it be that they were too sentimental? They didn't even want to return it to them? Why did Lin Yi feel like he was dreaming? Looking at Lin Yi's stunned expression, Blood Cloak Ancestor did not know what to say. The two ancestors did not know much about the ways of the world. Wasn't this a bit too direct? This was obviously siding with Lin Yi. How could Lin Yi not overthink it? However, Blood Cloak Ancestor was a slick person after all. He quickly found a reason to explain. "Mr. Lin Yi, you don't have to think too much. This is how it is in ancient times. If you try to kill someone, but fail and get killed, the things on your body will naturally belong to them. This is the rule of ancient times. We have no reason to ask for it. It's unreasonable." In fact, what Blood Cloak Ancestor said was the truth. However, the truth was that only the ordinary ancient sects followed this rule. The powerful ancient sects would not abide by it. They would still take revenge. However, there was no need to tell this to Lin Yi. Therefore, Blood Cloak Ancestor only explained it this way. His purpose was to make Lin Yi feel that it was natural. "So that's how it is." Lin Yi nodded. "In that case, I'll accept it. No matter what, I still have to thank everyone. We're helping each other." Blood Cloak Ancestor waved his hand. The chant to use the gale-chasing lightning boots had already been written down. This thing was not complicated, and there were only a few chants. Chapter 32-34. The true Qi ring is actually very easy to use. You just need to drip your blood on it to recognize its owner. This way, the true Qi ring can be activated according to your thoughts. The eerie ancestor didn't hide anything and directly said everything he knew. Of course, this thing can only recognize its owner once. Unless its original owner dies, it can't be used even if someone else takes it away. So that's how it is. Lin Yi originally had the thought of not showing off his wealth. What if someone coveted this thing on his hand? After all, he wasn't a top cultivator yet. Although he had a fierce reputation, he still knew his limits. But this way, he wouldn't have to worry about others thinking about it. If they wanted to take the ring, they would have to kill him first. Lin Yi wasn't afraid of others threatening him with other conditions and forcefully taking the ring. "Yes, Mr. Lin Yi, we will take the corpse of the Dark Horse Association's Supreme Elder first. Same as before, please keep it a secret for us. This mission is carried out in secret, and the person who hired us is also from the Dark Horse Association. He naturally doesn't want this matter to be exposed, it wouldn't be good for him." The eerie ancestor said, "So, we can only put this responsibility on Mr. Lin Yi's head. This person was killed by you." "I understand." Lin Yi nodded. This was the result he wanted to see, and he didn't doubt the words of the blood-clothed underworld sect's eerie ancestor. After all, it would be a huge scandal if the sect's president hired someone to kill the Supreme Elder. Naturally, it would be better to keep it a secret. After saying that, the eerie ancestor didn't say anything else. He picked up the corpse of the Dark Horse Association Supreme Elder and disappeared into the boundless night along with the blood-clothed ancestor and the underworld ancestor. Lin Yi bitterly smiled and shook his head. He returned to his room and continued to cultivate. Lin Yi had just touched the barrier of the mid-heaven rank, so he had to work hard. If he broke through to the mid-heaven rank in one fell swoop, then Lin Yi might truly have the ability to instantly kill a peak late heaven rank powerhouse. There would be no need for rumors. On the other floor of the dormitory, the dean and Su Shihan stayed in the same room. After such a storm, the mother and daughter must have a lot to talk about. Cheng Yi, on the other hand, stayed in a room by herself. Although Lin Yi had healed most of the injuries on her body, there were still some superficial injuries that hadn't been healed. Therefore, Cheng Yi was still in pain. However, she couldn't care less about the pain now. Her heart was full of suffering. He didn't know how to face Lin Yi and Su Shihan in the future. She wanted to come clean with Su Shihan, but she didn't have the chance. Su Shihan was always with the dean. She didn't give Cheng Yi a chance to be alone. Just when Cheng Yi was hesitating, her phone rang. Cheng Yi picked up the phone and looked at the caller ID. She couldn't help but sigh deeply. However, she still picked up the phone. Boss. The person that Cheng Yi called boss was Feng Tianhu from the ancient Feng family. It turned out that Cheng Yi was actually a spy that he placed beside Su Shihan. In other words, Cheng Yi was also a tool that Feng Tianhu used to make money in the secular world. How is it? Is that old woman dead? Feng Tianhu had actually received Cheng Yi's text message earlier. Tonight, Su Shihan decided to stay at the orphanage. Lin Yi also stayed there. This made Feng Tianhu feel uneasy. Lin Yi actually stayed here? How could the great elder of the Black Horse gang do it? But Cheng Yi tried to persuade them, but they didn't listen. Feng Tianhu couldn't do anything. And what Feng Tianhu was most afraid of was that the great elder of the Black Horse gang would die here. But thinking about it, the great elder of the Black Horse gang was a peak late-stage heaven-class master. Lin Yi could instantly kill a peak late-stage heaven-class master, but he might not be able to beat a peak late-stage heaven-class master. After all, they were two different levels. The difference was quite big. Feng Tianhu didn't think that Lin Yi had the ability to do it. Because if Lin Yi really had the ability, then wouldn't he just kill his way to the ancient Feng family and stir up trouble in the ancient world? No, that assassin is dead. Cheng Yi took a deep breath and said. What? Feng Tianhu was shocked. What he was afraid of really happened. He couldn't believe his ears. What did you say? The Supreme Elder of the Black Horse Group, an esteemed peak late-stage heaven-rank great perfection expert, actually died? How did he die? How else could he die? Cheng Yi's heart moved. Her face showed a determined expression, but her tone was a bit helpless. I don't know how he died. Su Shihan, the dean, and I all ran away. Only Lin Yi and the great elder of the Black Horse gang were left in the room, only the two of them. Lin Yi killed him? Feng Tianhu's eyelids twitched. Although he had already guessed this possibility, after confirming it, he still couldn't help but be afraid and disappointed. Heavens, could Lin Yi really kill a peak late-phase sky-class practitioner who was as strong as an atomic bomb on the ground? That was too powerful, right? I don't know. Maybe. Cheng Yi didn't say too much, but her words made it clear that it was Lin Yi who killed him. Feng Tianhu naturally thought so too. Then, that idiot from the Black Horse gang didn't reveal my identity, right? Lin Yi doesn't know that I'm the one who found him, right? After Feng Tianhu's disbelief, he was deeply afraid. Lin Yi could even kill a peak late-stage heaven-class master. Killing Feng Tianhu was as easy as flipping his hand. What should he do? Feng Tianhu regretted it a little. Being impulsive was the devil. He shouldn't have tried to touch anyone related to Lin Yi. No matter what, the dean was still Su Shihan's mother. If Lin Yi interfered, he wouldn't be able to live a good life. Now, Lin Yi didn't know. If he knew, then he definitely wouldn't let him go. Wasn't he looking for death? I'm not sure because I wasn't there. Han and I were both injured. It was Lin Yi who helped me heal and then we came out. Cheng Yi said. Chapter 32-35. Feng Tianhu was panicking. If Lin Yi found out that he was the mastermind, Lin Yi would definitely find him for provoking Lin Yi again and again. So, Feng Tianhu was prepared to run. How can I ask? Cheng Yi didn't want to work for Feng Tianhu anymore. She already felt sorry for Su Shihan. Naturally, she didn't want to listen to Feng Tianhu anymore. Originally, she thought that Feng Tianhu was a very powerful person. She was destined to be unable to fight against him. But now that she heard his panicked tone, he no longer had his usual majesty. So, he was also a paper tiger. In front of Lin Yi, he was nothing. Humph. You're a celebrity. Don't tell me you don't have any tricks up your sleeve. Lin Yi has so many beautiful women around him. Don't tell me you don't know why he's trying so hard to protect Su Shihan. I'm also a man. I know this. Go to his room tonight. I don't care what you do, but you have to give me a definite answer. See if he knows about me. Most importantly, see if he has any plans to deal with me. Feng Tianhu ordered. Cheng Yi, I'm warning you. Don't think you can get away with it. Once you're done with this, I'll show you your brother's recent photos. If you don't do it well, don't even think about seeing your brother for the rest of your life. Do you hear me? Okay. Cheng Yi nodded helplessly and sighed. Her brother was a hostage in Feng Tianhu's hands. What could she do? She and her brother were orphans that Feng Tianhu adopted since young. Feng Tianhu used the excuse of training her brother. She didn't know where he sent her brother and made her a celebrity to earn money for him. Cheng Yi was worried about her brother's safety. She had no choice but to let Feng Tianhu do whatever he wanted. I'm telling you. Don't play tricks. Don't think that I'm afraid of Lin Yi. Let me tell you, if I'm done for, your brother won't have a good life either. Feng Tianhu threatened. He was really afraid that Cheng Yi would run away. After all, Lin Yi's strength was too terrifying. Anyone would be afraid of going against Lin Yi. I understand, boss. Cheng Yi quickly said. It's good that you know. Feng Tianhu snorted and hung up the phone. Cheng Yi looked at her phone and couldn't help but sigh. However, Cheng Yi had already made a decision. There was no turning back. She knew that she couldn't retreat this time. She couldn't make the same mistake again. As long as he could get Lin Yi's help, it was not impossible to force Feng Tianhu to hand over his brother. Of course, the premise was that Lin Yi forgave her for all the wrong things she did to Su Shihan. Gritting her teeth, Cheng Yi resolutely walked to the door, quietly went upstairs, and walked to Lin Yi's room. Cheng Yi was an Earth-class early-phase master. Although the Dean was an Earth-class late-phase peak, he had just leveled up. Cheng Yi was good at disguising herself. It was easy to fool the Dean. But it was impossible to hide it from Lin Yi. Someone was coming upstairs, and Lin Yi noticed it while he was in his training mode. He wasn't too nervous, and judging from the footsteps, it should be Cheng Yi. Lin Yi could recognize Cheng Yi's voice after spending so much time with her. It seemed that this girl wanted to be honest with him. Lin Yi shook his head. He didn't kill Cheng Yi and instead saved her. It was all because she blocked an attack for Su Shihan. From this, it could be seen that Cheng Yi wasn't a bad person. Maybe she regretted it, or maybe she had her own difficulties. Cheng Yi came to the door of Lin Yi's room. She took a deep breath, gritted her teeth, and slowly unbuttoned her pajamas. The pajamas fell to the ground, revealing her healthy wheat-colored skin. Although this skin color looked a little dark, it was a relatively popular color nowadays. It looked sexier and healthier, and Cheng Yi had always walked this route. Because she was a cultivator, her body was very good, and her skin was firmer and more supple than Su Shihan's. This was a body that could make men go crazy for it. Although Cheng Yi didn't think that Lin Yi was a pervert, but after thinking about it, the only thing that could make Lin Yi forgive her was this body. Luckily, it was a pure body. Otherwise, why would Lin Yi ask Feng Tianhu for her? Why would Lin Yi listen to a spy like her? Lin Yi's door wasn't locked, so Cheng Yi pushed the door open and walked in. The moment Cheng Yi walked in, Lin Yi opened his eyes and returned to reality from his training state. However, when he saw Cheng Yi without any clothes on, he was startled. However, the beautiful scene in front of him made his heart beat faster. It was undeniable that among the girls Lin Yi knew, Cheng Yi was the first. She was full of wild beauty. But Lin Yi was a strong-willed person. Although he was still a bit lustful, he could control himself and not let himself get lost. Cheng Yi, what do you mean? Lin Yi frowned and asked indifferently. Lin Yi. Want me? Cheng Yi didn't explain to Lin Yi. She went up and hugged Lin Yi, squeezing her body into Lin Yi's embrace. Lin Yi's shirt had a hole in it from the battle, and there was quite a bit of blood on it. So, when he was training, Lin Yi just took it off. His upper body was bare. Practitioners weren't that cold anyway. Cheng Yi was sticking to him naked, rubbing her breasts against Lin Yi's chest. It made Lin Yi's mouth go dry. But Lin Yi was still very calm. Cheng Yi was a beauty, and pushing her down would be a great achievement, but Lin Yi didn't have any relationship with her. He had Xiao Xiao, the miss, and Shu at home, and he didn't push her down yet. Pushing Cheng Yi first. Lin Yi wasn't that careless. If it were the miss, Shu, Wang Xinyan, or Xiao Xiao, Lin Yi would have pushed the boat with the current. Even if it was Han Jingjing, Ling Shan, or Sun Jingyi. But Cheng Yi, there was no relationship at all, and Cheng Yi was clearly a spy. Lin Yi didn't even know what her goal was. If he really pushed her down, things wouldn't be clear. Should he follow her and harm Su Shihan, or kill her? Lin Yi would be in a difficult position, so he might as well push Cheng Yi away. Chapter 32-36. Ah. Cheng Yi sniffed Lin Yi's manly scent. She was a little aroused, but she didn't expect that Lin Yi didn't want to touch her at all. She was a little disappointed. To be honest, after spending time with Lin Yi, Su Shihan's heart was secretly in love with him, and Cheng Yi actually had a good impression of Lin Yi. It was just that the huge pressure on her would sometimes cover up this good impression. When Cheng Yi wanted to get rid of this pressure, her good impression of Lin Yi would suddenly be released, just like when Su Shihan found her mother. Cheng Yi didn't say anything. She silently turned around and walked to the door. She bent down and picked up her pajamas from the floor. However, Lin Yi secretly swallowed his saliva. The moment Cheng Yi bent down, the mysterious area under her body was right in front of Lin Yi's eyes. It made Lin Yi feel like his blood was about to burst. Lin Yi felt that Cheng Yi did it on purpose. Yes, Cheng Yi did it on purpose. She was a little unconvinced. Before, she wanted to give her body to Lin Yi out of helplessness, but Lin Yi rejected her. It made Cheng Yi feel hurt. Wasn't she pretty? Wasn't she sexy? Wasn't her figure good? Why did Lin Yi reject her? Therefore, Cheng Yi thought of ways to seduce Lin Yi again. When she quickly turned around, she saw Lin Yi's face was a little red. She immediately smiled. It seemed that Lin Yi wasn't really calm. It was just that his willpower was good, he definitely had some thoughts about her. Thinking of this, Cheng Yi felt a little balanced again. Although Cheng Yi wore her pajamas, it was just a nightgown. There was nothing underneath, and there were no buttons on the top either. There was only a belt around the waist that tied the nightgown up. If Cheng Yi sat down, her upper body would be faintly discernible. Cheng Yi was like a wild cat. She smiled slyly and sat in front of Lin Yi. From Lin Yi's angle, he could see her chest through her collar, ahem. Lin Yi was a little helpless. He reluctantly turned his eyes away and said to Cheng Yi, "Tell me, why are you looking for me?" "Sex," Cheng Yi said. "Pfft. Cough, cough, cough." Lin Yi coughed after hearing Cheng Yi's words. "I'm serious. You've seen it just now. It's true." Cheng Yi shrugged innocently, revealing a large gap in her neckline. Lin Yi's gaze was attracted by Cheng Yi's sex again. He didn't expect to see something he shouldn't have seen again. He couldn't help but feel a little speechless. "Okay. Actually, I'm here to be honest with you." Cheng Yi knew that enough was enough. If she kept going with Lin Yi might find it interesting at first. But after a while, he might kick her out. That would be a tragedy for her. Earth class early phase? I've known for a long time. Lin Yi put away his awkward smile and said directly when they got down to business. "How did you know? When did you find out? Or did you already know my identity?" Cheng Yi asked in surprise. "From the first time I saw you, I already knew. When Su Shihan went out with us, I already suspected you, but I wasn't sure." Lin Yi said, "You're right. You suspected me then?" Cheng Yi was stunned. She didn't expect to be exposed so early. She couldn't help but feel a little discouraged. "Lin Yi, I'm a star. Being good at acting is my specialty. You suspected me the first time you saw me? Am I that bad?" "It has nothing to do with your acting." Lin Yi waved his hand. "I have an ability that allows me to see the level of a person's strength. As long as it's a spiritual practitioner, they don't need to use their practitioner's arts to know their level. Of course, you can also report this ability to your master, Feng Tianhu." "You know?" Cheng Yi's eyes widened. She didn't expect Lin Yi to be able to guess that she was Feng Tianhu's person. She couldn't help but feel a little awkward. "Don't worry. I won't say anything. I didn't tell Feng Tianhu about the blood-clothed underworld sect helping to kill the Grand Elder of the Black Horse Gang. I only said that Han and I left, leaving you in the room. Then, the Grand Elder died." "Ha." Lin Yi smiled and didn't deny it. Since Cheng Yi decided to be honest, she naturally wouldn't be on the same side as Feng Tianhu. So this was reasonable. "Then why didn't you say that you knew that I was a practitioner and suspected me?" Cheng Yi didn't dwell on the previous topic. Lin Yi didn't say anything, which meant that Lin Yi didn't want to pursue this matter. This also meant that she had hope of getting Lin Yi's forgiveness. "I saw it, so I'm not sure." Lin Yi shook his head and explained, "With your strength, killing Feng Sanhuang and Su Shihan was a very easy thing to do. You didn't need to rely on outsiders. So, although I suspected that you led us into a dark alley that day, there were too many unexplainable things, so I'm not sure." "So that's how it is." Cheng Yi was stunned and shook her head with a bitter smile. "Actually, Feng Tianhu wanted me to do it myself, but Xiao Han and I are from the same sect. Although I approached Xiao Han with a purpose, but, as time passed, the relationship between me and Xiao Han became deeper and deeper. When I was sure that Xiao Han was Feng Tianlin's illegitimate daughter, I couldn't do it anymore. Looks like you're not someone with a heart of stone. That means you can still be saved." Lin Yi nodded. This was also the reason why he let Cheng Yi live and didn't kill her. Cheng Yi was a loyal person. Then how are you going to explain to Feng Tianhu? "I'll say that I'm a celebrity, a public figure. After all, I make a living in the common world. If I kill someone myself, it'll be fine if they don't find out. But if they find out, then I'll have to run." Cheng Yi said, "I can't just run back to my family and sect like other cultivators. My identity is there, and Feng Tianhu also needs me to help him earn money in the common world." So he didn't hesitate and agreed to my suggestion. He sent someone else to kill Su Shihan, and I'll work with him from the inside. You're pretty smart. Lin Yi didn't think that Cheng Yi wasn't stupid. She came up with an excuse like this. Why do you work for Feng Tianhu? Chapter 32-37. Oh. Lin Yi was stunned. He didn't expect Cheng Yi to have a younger brother. Then he taught us how to cultivate. When I was 10 years old, my brother was taken away by Feng Tianhu and we were separated. I was asked to be trained as a celebrity, and my brother never appeared in front of me again. Cheng Yi couldn't help but sigh as she said this. Feng Tianhu used your brother as a threat to force you to do things for him? Lin Yi suddenly understood. If that was the case, Cheng Yi had her own difficulties. She was swaying between her brother and her best sister. She couldn't bear to give up one of them. It seemed like he was lucky that he didn't kill her. So she had this kind of unknown pain. Yes. Cheng Yi nodded. Every once in a while, Feng Tianhu would send me pictures of my brother. He told me that my brother was living well and was still cultivating. But the more he did that, the more I felt uneasy. If I betrayed him, Feng Tianhu would definitely harm my brother. Then why did you choose to be honest with me? Lin Yi asked. Because I can't let Xiao Han shield me from the wind and rain because of my mistake. I don't want to hide it anymore, it's too painful for me. Cheng Yi shook her head and blinked her big eyes. Feng Tianhu is afraid of you. Afraid of me? You know the truth. Lin Yi smiled bitterly. As expected, Cheng Yi needed something from him. Otherwise, she wouldn't have seduced him. It seemed like Cheng Yi was willing to risk it all for her brother. But Feng Tianhu doesn't know. Cheng Yi said matter-of-factly. I'll help you ask what's going on. Lin Yi sighed and said, this is a bit troublesome. Feng Tianhu might not let you go so easily. What do you mean? Cheng Yi was slightly stunned. Feng Tianhu is a sinister person. You don't know that. Lin Yi waved his hand and explained, he's a person who will do anything to achieve his goals. If he could kill his own son to frame Feng Shipian, then you can imagine what kind of person he is. What I'm afraid of is that if I don't ask, Feng Tianhu will have a hostage. He won't be afraid of me doing anything to him. Ah. Cheng Yi was shocked. Lin Yi's analysis was very reasonable. It could be said that he accurately grasped Feng Tianhu's personality. This meant that if Lin Yi asked this, it would mean that she and Lin Yi had some sort of agreement. Feng Tianhu could use her brother to threaten Lin Yi, so that Lin Yi wouldn't dare to do anything to him. So, I can only ask Feng Shipian about this and see if he knows. If I ask Feng Tianhu, not only will he not return your brother, but he will also use it to threaten you and do something even worse, Lin Yi said. I'm sorry, I was too naive. Cheng Yi was too worried. She just thought that Feng Tianhu was afraid of Lin Yi, but she didn't think that if Feng Tianhu had a hostage, it would be equivalent to having a life-saving talisman. Would he let go so easily? That was obviously not the case. I'll ask Feng Shipian first, Lin Yi said. N. Cheng Yi quickly nodded. He dialed up Feng Shipian's number. Boss? Feng Shipian was already asleep, but when his phone rang, he saw that it was Lin Yi's number and immediately picked it up. What's up? Shipian, first of all, you can tell your father that Xiaohan's mother has been found, but don't let anyone else know, do you understand? Lin Yi said. Found? Feng Shipian was startled. He didn't think that Su Shihan's mother, his father's old lover, had been found. This was good news, and it could solve one of his father's problems. As for telling others, Feng Shipian wasn't stupid. Don't worry, boss, I won't say anything. If my mother finds out, she might cause trouble again. As long as you know. Lin Yi nodded. Feng Tianhu already knew about this, but Lin Yi wanted to hide it from Dongfang Xiaocui. Lin Yi didn't want the Dongfang family's people to get involved. After all, Lin Yi's strength wasn't real. If too many people came, it would be exposed sooner or later. Of course, there was no need to tell this to Feng Shipian. He continued, she is the old dean of Songshan Orphanage, but it's good that your father knows. Don't do anything for now, or it will be exposed. I understand. Feng Shipian nodded. One more thing, just now, Feng Tianhu found a great elder of the Black Horse Society to assassinate the old dean. Lin Yi said. My third uncle? He found someone from the Black Horse Society? The great elder of the Black Horse Society. Wouldn't that be a peak late phase heaven class master? What happened to him? Feng Shipian was shocked and quickly asked. Dead. Lin Yi said, the old dean is fine, don't worry. That's good, boss is the best. Feng Shipian was very surprised at how a sky-class late-phase peak master died, but there were rumors in the ancient times that Lin Yi could instantly kill sky-class late-phase peak masters. It seemed like the rumors were true. One last thing, do you know Cheng Yi? Lin Yi asked. Cheng Yi? I know her, my sister's junior sister. Feng Shipian knew that Su Shihan was his sister, so he often paid attention to her news. Naturally, he knew about Cheng Yi. No, I'm talking about Cheng Yi's other identity. Lin Yi said. What other identity does Cheng Yi have? Feng Shipian paused, not understanding what Lin Yi meant. She's a chess piece of Feng Tianhu. Lin Yi saw that Feng Shipian didn't know about Cheng Yi, so he explained, no, Cheng Yi has turned to the light, but her brother is in Feng Tianhu's hands. Can you help me ask around? Her brother? That's fine, what's his name? If he's in our ancient Feng family, then there's hope. If he's not, then there's nothing I can do. Feng Shipian said. And, what's your brother's name? Lin Yi turned to look at Cheng Yi. Cheng Yi ran. Cheng Yi said, he's 2 years younger than me. He should be 16 this year. I heard that he just reached the early phase heaven class master. Cheng Yi ran, 16 years old, early phase heaven class master. Lin Yi said. Chapter 32-38. Why? Lin Yi paused. Ancient Feng family, I'm the only heaven class master among the younger generation. 16 years old. Younger than me, how could I not know? Feng Shipian explained with a bitter smile. I see. Alright, then help me keep an eye out. Lin Yi frowned. It seemed like Feng Tianhu hid Cheng Yi ran. But Lin Yi was a bit puzzled. How did Feng Tianhu control Cheng Yi ran? Logically speaking, Cheng Yi ran's strength was already very powerful. She could totally escape and not be controlled by Feng Tianhu. No problem, I will definitely keep an eye out for you. Feng Shipian said. If I directly kill my way to the ancient Feng family and kill Feng Tianhu, do you have the confidence to find that Cheng Yi ran? Lin Yi pondered for a moment and asked. No. Feng Shipian quickly said. No? Why? Lin Yi paused. Boss, within the Feng family, competition is not forbidden. This was tacitly agreed by my grandfather. Now that everyone knows that you are my boss, if you come to the Feng family and kill my third uncle, then it will be very difficult for me. Colluding with outsiders to assassinate a family member, I will be kicked out of the ancient Feng family. Feng Shipian smiled bitterly. Feng Tianhu can just find someone to assassinate Su Shihan? Lin Yi asked back. That's in the dark. To be honest, the ancient Feng family has never acknowledged my sister's identity. If she dies, my grandfather won't say anything. But boss, if you come directly to the family. That's different. Feng Shipian was a kind person. He definitely wouldn't do something like this. Then we'll talk about it later. Lin Yi shook his head. Actually, even if Lin Yi went to look for Feng Tianhu, with this guy's ruthlessness, he might not be able to tell him where Cheng Yiran was hiding. Lin Yi was just saying it casually, he didn't have absolute confidence that he could defeat the ancient Feng clan. Once he attacked the ancient Feng clan, it would arouse the fear of the ancient Dongfang clan and the Everyday Sun sect. If the three clans joined forces, he would be finished. After hanging up the phone, Lin Yi looked at the disappointed Cheng Yi and comforted her. Don't worry. This matter has to be done step by step. Your brother is in Feng Tianhu's hands, so he shouldn't be in danger. For the time being, you just need to feign civility with him. Discuss with me what he wants you to do, and I'll tell you what to do. All right. Cheng Yi thought about it. It was true. After so many years, a little more time wouldn't make a difference. Also, Lin Yi was right. As long as she was still working for Feng Tianhu had no reason to do anything to Feng Shipian. Let Feng Shipian find out about Cheng Yiran's whereabouts first. It wouldn't be too late for Lin Yi to make a move then. So he said, just now, Feng Tianhu called and asked me to spy on you and test your attitude to see if you have any intention of doing anything to Feng Tianhu. Oh. Lin Yi was slightly stunned. He didn't think that Feng Tianhu's intention was involved in the previous matter. It seemed that Cheng Yi listened to half of Feng Tianhu's suggestion. After thinking about it, Lin Yi said, then tell him that you didn't succeed. I was slightly injured today, and I just leveled up, so I didn't, that with you. But you've already made a good impression on me, so I won't do anything to him for the time being. Because I asked for Feng Shipian's opinion, just tell him what Feng Shipian said. Okay, I understand. Cheng Yi blushed and nodded. Okay, go back and call Feng Tianhu. Rest early and don't think too much. Lin Yi comforted her. Okay. Cheng Yi nodded and stood up. But she didn't leave. She hesitated for a moment, then suddenly leaned down and kissed Lin Yi's forehead like a chick pecking rice. The scenery of her chest was reflected in Lin Yi's eyes again. Actually, with Lin Yi's strength, he could have completely avoided it, but Cheng Yi didn't have any bad intentions, and Lin Yi was still a little reluctant, so he accepted it. Cheng Yi saw that Lin Yi didn't avoid it and was a little happy, but she didn't dare to take another step. She was afraid that Lin Yi would chase her away, so she ran out of Lin Yi's room first. Lin Yi looked at Cheng Yi's back and shook his head. In fact, Cheng Yi wasn't a scheming girl. After Cheng Yi returned to her room, she dialed Feng Tianhu's number. So fast. Feng Tianhu had been holding the phone, waiting for Cheng Yi's news. Otherwise, he wouldn't feel at ease and couldn't sleep. If Lin Yi really wanted to deal with him, he would have to think about how to escape. Yeah. I took off my clothes, and Lin Yi was a bit interested in my body. But he was injured today, and he'd just broken through. He needed to stabilize his strength, so he just hugged me and talked. He didn't do anything else. Cheng Yi reported to Feng Tianhu. She didn't hide anything and used a narrative tone. Oh. Lin Yi was injured and broke through? Feng Tianhu was surprised. Yes, Lin Yi fought with the Supreme Elder of the Black Horse Gang and was injured, but he also broke through to the peak of the early phase of heaven rank, Cheng Yi said. Motherfucker. Feng Tianhu cursed. An early phase of heaven rank could kill a peak of the late phase of heaven rank, and now that he broke through, wouldn't he be able to instantly kill a peak of the late phase of heaven rank? I don't know about that. Let's not talk about the fact that Lin Yi is only interested in my body. He doesn't really like me. Even if he really likes me, he might not tell me the limit of his strength. Cheng Yi said. It was reasonable for her to say so, which made Feng Tianhu even more confused and bewildered. That's right. Feng Tianhu nodded. Then does Lin Yi know that I was the one who dealt with him? Yes, the Supreme Elder of the Black Horse Gang betrayed you before he died, Cheng Yi said. What? This old thing, the Supreme Elder? He's not reliable at all. Feng Tianhu was so angry that he cursed. Why did he have to drag someone down with him after he died? However, he still hurriedly asked, "Did Lin Yi want to cause trouble for me?" "Yes, but he called Feng Shipian. Lin Yi said that he wanted to kill his way to your door and settle the score with you, but Feng Shipian stopped him," Cheng Yi said. "Why?" Feng Tianhu was a little puzzled. His nephew actually wanted to protect him? Chapter 32-39. That's right, our ancient Feng family is indeed like that. Feng Tianhu nodded. So, colluding with outsiders to assassinate a family member will result in being kicked out of the ancient Feng family. Cheng Yi said the same. Haha. Feng Tianhu laughed. Did Lin Yi agree? Yes, this phone call was made in front of me, Cheng Yi said. That's good, that's good. Feng Tianhu let out a sigh of relief. You did well. Don't worry, I'll take some recent photos of Iran and send them to you. You'll be a spy next to Lin Yi. If Lin Yi does anything strange, you have to tell me immediately, especially if it's about me. Okay, thank you, boss. Cheng Yi pretended to be grateful. No need to thank me, I know you hate me in your heart. We'll just take what we need. Feng Tianhu said indifferently, and Lin Yi is a talented young man. You won't lose anything by following him. It should be fun to show off. To be honest, I don't have a way out. If I knew Lin Yi would be like this, I would have let Nitian recognize him as the boss long ago. Would it even be Feng Shirshan's turn? Cheng Yi didn't say anything and hung up. The next morning, Cheng Yi went to eat breakfast with Su Shihan. Obviously, Su Shihan didn't know that Cheng Yi was a spy. Cheng Yi wanted to say something a few times, but just when she was about to speak, she saw Lin Yi walk into the orphanage's cafeteria. He shook his head at Cheng Yi, signaling her not to say anything for now. Cheng Yi couldn't help but blush. She remembered what happened last night, but she listened to Lin Yi. Lin Yi said to wait, so she'll wait. The misunderstanding between Cheng Yi and Su Shihan could be easily solved between the two of them, but with the dean here, it wouldn't be good. The dean would be angry because she didn't understand the relationship between Cheng Yi and Su Shihan. Therefore, it was better to wait until they went back. It was better to be happy in the orphanage. Old Dean, I called Feng Shipian yesterday. He will tell Uncle Tian Lin your identity. However, Uncle Tian Lin might only make a phone call. It's not convenient for him to come over right now. Lin Yi said. I understand. It's already good enough that I was able to make a phone call. The old dean, on the other hand, appeared very calm and not very agitated. After so many years, it was clear that she had already gotten over it. Lin Yi nodded and didn't say anything else. After all, this was someone else's family matter. After breakfast, Lin Yi, Su Shihan, and Cheng Yi said goodbye to the dean and the others, returning to Donghai City. When they got home, Cheng Yi dragged Su Shihan upstairs to talk about business. Yushu and Han Jingjing, on the other hand, sat on the sofa and chatted. Seeing that Lin Yi came back, Yushu pulled Lin Yi and asked him about the interesting things in Songshan. Lin Yi roughly told them about the Grand Elder of the Black Horse Gang and the Bloodcloak Yellow Spring sect. Lin Yi didn't need to hide anything from Yushu and Jingjing. It was a shocking story, and it made Yushu and Jingjing feel lucky. After that, Yushu went to watch TV. Han Jingjing, on the other hand, went to talk to Lin Yi about the second-level automatic cauldron. Lin Yi bro, Jingjing's research on the second-level automatic cauldron is almost done. The only problem now is that only a second-level refiner can use it. Han Jingjing said as she took out a cauldron from Lin Yi's cabinet. Han Jingjing took advantage of Lin Yi's absence to take over Lin Yi's room and started researching the cauldron, waiting for Lin Yi to come back. Oh. Isn't a second-level automatic cauldron for a second-level refiner? Could it be for a first-level refiner to use? This doesn't match. Lin Yi looked at Han Jingjing with some doubts. He didn't understand what she meant. No, Lin Yi bro, in fact, you have to know that our first level automatic cauldron is so popular because of its low threshold. As long as you can condense the alchemy fire, you can use it with the automatic cauldron to refine a first level medicinal pill. However, the second level automatic cauldron is different. The person who uses it is a second level refiner, and the threshold to become a second level refiner is much higher than condensing the alchemy fire. Han Jingjing said, it's impossible to become a second level refiner if you can only condense the alchemy fire. Han Jingjing said, it is impossible to become a second-grade alchemist if you can only condense alchemy fire. Second-grade alchemists are cultivators of fire and with dual attributes, and most of these people's alchemy level is not low. Although it can't be said that they have a 100% success rate, but their dependence on the second-grade automatic medicinal cauldron is certainly not as big as the first-grade automatic medicinal cauldron, and there is a crucial problem, that is, the number of second-grade alchemists is limited. There are only so many. After we sell our medicinal cauldron to them, it is impossible to have sales again, unless the medicinal cauldron in their hands is broken. This is true. After listening, Lin Yi suddenly realized that what Han Jingjing said was not unreasonable. Under the cute and quiet appearance, Lu Jinghan was a business genius. She had analyzed all these things. Lin Yi was not good at business, so naturally, he didn't think as much as Han Jingjing. So, if our second-level automatic cauldron can be given to the first-level alchemist, even ordinary cultivators can use it, there will definitely be a surge in sales. Han Jingjing said. The theory is reasonable, but I'm afraid it will be difficult to realize. Lin Yi shook his head and said, not everyone is like Han Jingjing. You mean, let those who condense the alchemy fire cultivate to the second-level alchemy fire and then use this cauldron? This is a good idea. Han Jingjing's eyes lit up. Lin Yi bro is more thoughtful than Jing Jing. It is not difficult to let them cultivate, and there is no requirement for the success rate of alchemy. As long as they can condense the second-level alchemy fire, it is enough. Jing Jing. You say that, I am a little ashamed. Lin Yi smiled bitterly and said, if I didn't know that you are Lu Jinghan, I would really think that you are praising me with your character, but you are Lu Jinghan. How can I think of it, and you don't? Chapter 3240. Lin Yi was taken aback by Han Jingjing's seriousness, but he still nodded. Maybe I'm thinking from the perspective of a practitioner, and you're thinking from the perspective of a businessman, so we're thinking from different perspectives. Yeah, if that's the case, we can throw in a guidebook on how to condense a second-level fire. As long as the alchemists who can condense a first-level fire increase their fire level, they'll be able to use a second-level cauldron. Han Jingjing nodded. Then, Lin Yi was about to say that they'll follow this train of thought, but before he could finish his sentence, his phone rang. It was Kang Xiaobo. Lin Yi gestured to Han Jingjing to wait, and picked up the phone. Xiaobo, what's up? Boss, Little Peach brought me an important message. The Sky Elixir sect is preparing to mass-produce first-level cauldrons. Xiaobo said. The Sky Elixir sect's first-level automatic cauldrons aren't cheap right now, and Miracle Dr. Guan's cauldrons can be lowered at any time. Kang Xiaoming's worried that we won't be able to beat them in the next step, so he's planning to use a price war to beat them. That's why he's planning to mass-produce them to lower the cost. Oh. Lin Yi was startled. He didn't expect Kang Mingming to be so smart. However, this intelligence wasn't used in the right place. Lin Yi was prepared to give up on the first-level cauldron market. After all, the market would soon be saturated. Even if new alchemists and disciples bought them, there wouldn't be too many. Mass production like Kang Mingming would indeed stimulate sales. After all, the price was cheaper, and some sects would buy a few to save for a rainy day. However, it was almost impossible to sell them all at once. There needed to be a long digestion process. Xiaobo, how about this? Let Little Peach spread the news that our cauldrons are indeed going to be discounted. Lin Yi said after some thought. Last time, Zhao Ming had used Lu Tianli as a hostage and made a fool out of him. It pissed Lin Yi off, but because of Han Jingjing, Lin Yi couldn't just ignore Lu Tianli. He could only suffer in silence. But now that Zhao Ming had sent himself to his doorstep, Lin Yi would make him suffer in silence. The Sky Elixir sect had made a lot of money from the first-level cauldrons, and it wasn't any less than Lin Yi. After all, Kang Ming Ming's cauldrons were updated very quickly. This kind of fake price and service would naturally be very popular, taking up half of the market. However, Lin Yi was going to make him lose as much as he earned. I got it. Kang Xiaobo didn't ask why and just nodded. He was ready to carry out Lin Yi's plan. After all, the cauldrons weren't sold through the medical company's channels. Kang Xiaobo didn't need to ask too much. After hanging up the call with Kang Xiaobo, Lin Yi turned to Han Jingjing and said, "Don't develop any smart functions for the second-level cauldrons." It's been a long time, I've missed you. Right Coiling Tiger greeted him with a smile on his face. Oh, Tiger Right, what are you looking for me for? Don't tell me you have something good for me again? Lin Yi's heart moved slightly, and he thought of an idea. Ah. Good stuff. I don't have anything that's good enough for you, Boss Lin Yi. Tiger Right felt a chill in his heart. Could it be that he had shown off too much before, and now that Lin Yi was strong, he came to take advantage of him? Chapter 32-41. Lin Yi looked at the Right Coiling Tiger's flickering eyes. How could he not guess what he was thinking? In fact, Lin Yi really didn't want to put the Right family to death. After all, the Right family had some relationship with the Heavenly Elixir sect's young master, Silkworm Change, and Silkworm Change was a person that Lin Yi respected and was grateful to. Therefore, Lin Yi didn't want Silkworm Change to be in a difficult position. Therefore, even though Lin Yi knew that the hidden Right family had a third-grade medicine cauldron, he didn't snatch it. This was a matter of his principles. Right Coiling Tiger, I heard that your family has a lot of medicine cauldrons? Lin Yi narrowed his eyes and asked. There's only one third-grade medicine cauldron. Right Coiling Tiger was shocked and said subconsciously. I didn't ask you about third-grade medicine cauldrons. Are there a lot of second-grade ones? Asked Lin Yi. Second grade, there are indeed a lot of them. Right Coiling Tiger was relieved. Although he didn't know what Lin Yi meant, it was fine as long as Lin Yi didn't want a third-grade medicine cauldron. Second-grade medicine cauldron didn't matter. Although the cost wasn't low, it couldn't be compared to a third-grade medicine cauldron. How many? Asked Lin Yi. A few dozen. Boss Lin Yi, what do you want? Right Coiling Tiger was somewhat inexplicable. He didn't know why Lin Yi cared about the number of second-grade medicine cauldrons. Oh, sell them all to me, said Lin Yi. Sell them to you? Why do you want to buy second-grade medicine cauldrons? Right Coiling Tiger was even more puzzled. Why did Lin Yi buy so many second-grade medicine cauldrons? I say, Boss Lin Yi, if you need one or two, I can give them to you. There's no use for you to buy so many second-grade medicine cauldrons. These things aren't easy to break, right? Why are you talking so much nonsense? Are you selling or not? Just say it. Asked Lin Yi with a frown. Right Coiling Tiger saw Lin Yi frown and thought to himself, not good. Is this guy angry? Thinking of this, Right Coiling Tiger could only say, sell it, why wouldn't I sell it? This thing is not a rare resource. In fact, the Heavenly Elixir sect also consigns a lot of second-grade cauldrons to the Cultivators Trade Association. They sell them for 50 million each. Just give me 30 million each. Speaking of this, Yu Panhu looked at Lin Yi carefully. After all, 30 million was indeed a capital. The Yu family bought it from the Heavenly Elixir sect at this price. Yu Panhu really didn't dare to ask for an exorbitant price from Lin Yi. However, if he didn't ask, he was afraid that Lin Yi wouldn't even give him 30 million. In fact, if Lin Yi didn't pay, he could only accept it. Who dared to provoke Lin Yi? 30 million? Okay, how much? Lin Yi didn't bargain with him. After all, 30 million was considered cheap compared to the price of Lin Yi's second-grade cauldrons. Around 30. Boss Lin Yi, why don't you give me 1 billion and I'll give all of them to you? Maybe 35 or 36. Right Coiling Tiger saw that Lin Yi didn't bargain and breathed a sigh of relief. He took the initiative to give some to Lin Yi. Okay, Lin Yi nodded and said, tell my family that I'll send Wu Qintian to get it now. Oh, okay, Right Coiling Tiger nodded and quickly went to call his family. Zhao Long, on the other hand, stood at the side and didn't say a word. He frowned slightly. What was the use of Lin Yi buying so many second-grade cauldrons? From Zhaolong's point of view, Lin Yi didn't buy these cauldrons for his own use. Lin Yi didn't need so many cauldrons. If it wasn't for his own use, was he going to sell them? But this market had always been controlled by the Sky Elixir sect, and Lin Yi just bought them and then sold them. What profit was there to speak of? Could it be that it had something to do with first-grade cauldrons? Was it used to develop second-grade cauldrons? Only research could use up so many cauldrons. Otherwise, they wouldn't break if they were just used for elixirs. Zhao Long had to admit that Zhao Long was quite smart. He could guess the general direction, but he didn't know that Lin Yi was using these cauldrons to make the first batch of second-grade cauldrons. Zhao Long had fallen into a misconception. He thought that Lin Yi could use other materials to replace first-grade cauldrons, but it didn't mean that he couldn't use other materials to replace second-grade cauldrons. Lin Yi bought these 30 or so cauldrons to experiment, to find a replacement. After all, if Lin Yi wanted to mass-produce, how could 30 or so cauldrons be enough? Once Lin Yi produced the cauldrons, the raw materials would be stuck in the hands of the Sky Elixir sect. If the Sky Elixir sect stopped producing second-grade cauldrons, then Lin Yi's first-grade cauldrons would have to stop production as well. If that happened, then Lin Yi would have to share some of the profits with the Sky Elixir sect. Otherwise, the Sky Elixir sect might as well fight to the death. This way, the Sky Elixir sect wouldn't have to waste their energy trying to replicate the cauldrons. They could just ask Lin Yi for a share of the profits. However, Zhao Long would still tell Kang Ming about this and have him prepare the necessary measures. Zhao Long, why are you still here? Lin Yi looked at Zhao Long and asked faintly, didn't you say that you weren't coming? You guys have final exams, and I have to hand in my final paper. Of course, I have to come to Boss Bai's class. Zhao Long said unnaturally. Actually, he saw that Lin Yi wasn't coming to school recently, so he thought that he could take advantage of this opportunity to chase after Wang Xinyan. At first, he thought that Lin Yi wouldn't be happy if he found out, but with Kang Ming, the elder of the Sky Elixir sect, Lin Yi wouldn't be able to kill him even if he was unhappy. But recently, there were rumors that Lin Yi could not only kill Sky-class masters at the peak of the late phase, but he could even kill Sky-class masters at the peak of the late phase. His strength had reached an unimaginable level. Oh, I hope you're not here to harass my girlfriend, Lin Yi looked at Zhao Long and said faintly. That. Of course not. Zhao Long's face turned green from anger at Lin Yi's words. What do you mean your girlfriend? She's my fiancée, all right? But Zhao Long didn't dare to refute. He could only swallow his anger and say, then. If there's nothing else, I'll be leaving. Goodbye. Lin Yi turned and entered the classroom. Zhao Long was here to find Wang Xinyan, but Lin Yi was here, so he turned and left. He also had to report to Kang Ming. Lin Yi sent a text to Wu Qintian, asking him to take 1 billion from Han Jingjing to buy a second-level cauldron from the hidden house Yu. Lin Yi also sent a text to Han Jingjing, saying that the first batch of second-level cauldrons would be made from real cauldrons. Han Jingjing listened to Lin Yi's suggestion and naturally agreed. This way, when the second-level cauldrons hit the market, they could make Kong Ming Ming of the Sky Elixir sect lower his guard and trick him into thinking that he was going to supply Lin Yi with another batch of second-level cauldrons that couldn't be sold. Chapter 32-42. Although Chen Tian was from the common house Wu, the hidden house Yu didn't dare offend him or lie to him. The second-grade cauldrons they gave him were all real. After all, Chen Tian's identity in House Wu wasn't anything special, but he was Lin Yi's follower. Who would dare offend someone related to Lin Yi now? Lin Yi had killed a sky-class late-phase peak full mastery for a person he was protecting. Couldn't he do the same for his follower Wu Chen Tian? There was a precedent, too. Didn't the common house Yu and the hidden house Zhao fall just like that? When the hidden house Yu handed over the second-grade cauldrons to Chen Tian, Xiaolong called Kong Ming Ming. Brother? What's up? Ever since Kong Ming Ming became the son-in-law of the elder of Xianchen, his vision had broadened and he wouldn't fight with Xiaolong for the head of the house. The relationship between the two brothers had improved quite a bit. Now, both of them were working for the benefit of House Kong. Zhao Ming, I met Lin Yi in school, Xiaolong said directly. Lin Yi went to school? What did he do? Kong Ming Ming was very sensitive to the name Lin Yi. He asked immediately when he heard Lin Yi's name. I think he went for the final exam, but he revealed something important. He bought more than 30 second-grade cauldrons from Yu Coiling Tiger. Xiaolong said. Bought second-grade cauldrons from Yu Coiling Tiger? Why does he need so many second-grade cauldrons? Kong Ming Ming didn't know how to react. I'm not too sure, but according to my guess, maybe Lin Yi started working on second-grade automatic cauldrons? Why else would he buy so many second-grade cauldrons? There's no need for so many cauldrons to make pills. These things don't break easily, Xiaolong analyzed. Brother, you're right. Kong Ming Ming was enlightened by Xiaolong's words. If you didn't remind me, I'd still be guessing for a while. Does that mean that Lin Yi has started researching second-level automatic cauldrons? It's possible. After all, with the competition from your heavenly elixir sect, their profits will only get smaller and smaller. If they don't develop new products, how can they maintain their market superiority? Xiaolong said. And I'm guessing that they've basically run out of resources to upgrade and encrypt first-grade cauldrons. There won't be any new breakthroughs, so they're probably planning to give up on this market. After a while, maybe they'll start a promotion. High-price promotion. I've thought about it. Plus, I got news from my spy today that Lin Yi is planning on lowering his prices for first-grade automatic cauldrons. But if he has a plan, I have a plan. I've already started mass-producing first-grade automatic cauldrons. Kong Ming Ming laughed. Don't worry, bro. I'll destroy Lin Yi's company. Let's see if he still has the heart to steal your girl. Oh. I'll be counting on you then. Xiaolong let out a breath of relief when he heard that Kong Ming Ming already had a plan. Lin Yi entered the classroom to see Wang Xinyan sitting at her familiar desk, reading a book. The exam was right around the corner, and Xinyan wasn't trying to cram for it. She was a girl who liked to read, after all. Usually, other than chatting with Lin Yi and Han Jingjing, she'd be reading alone in her seat. Lin Yi walked over and sat beside Xinyan. Xinyan frowned slightly when she felt someone sitting beside her. She didn't look over, her eyes still on her book. Lin Yi smiled faintly. It seemed like Xiaolong had been harassing Xinyan quite a bit lately, but Xinyan didn't pay attention to him at all. Xinyan clearly thought of him as Xiaolong now. Xinyan, how have you been? Lin Yi asked. Xinyan's body shook as she turned her head, her eyes filled with shock and joy. She hadn't expected Lin Yi to appear in school all of a sudden. To tell the truth, Xinyan had been missing Lin Yi a lot lately. She'd been able to get some news about Lin Yi from Han Jingjing when she still came to school, but Han Jingjing hadn't been coming to school recently, and Xin Yan had lost her source of information. She wanted to give Lin Yi a call or go to Lin Yi's house, but she couldn't muster up the courage. After all, she couldn't help Lin Yi now. Xin Yan didn't know if she could still be with Lin Yi in the future. She couldn't help Lin Yi with his training, and she felt guilty. She helped Lin Yi a little, but Lin Yi had to go to Snowy Valley to beg for treasures for her. She almost let Tang Yin down. She felt sorry for Lin Yi, and so she didn't contact Lin Yi recently. At first, Xin Yan thought that he'd forgotten about her. As time went on, even the most intimate of two people would become estranged from each other. That little bit of warmth and tenderness in her memories would become a beautiful memory. But Lin Yi was there, sitting next to her just like how he used to do every day in school. At that moment, Xin Yan had the illusion that Lin Yi had never disappeared in the first place. It was as if the last time he'd sat here was yesterday. Kong Xiaolong has been bothering you lately, right? Lin Yi said apologetically. I've been too busy recently, and I didn't come to school. I chased him away at the gate just now. Not really. I've been ignoring him. Xin Yan explained subconsciously. I know. Lin Yi nodded. Don't bother with him next time. Just chase him away when he comes. I told him that you're my girlfriend, and he didn't say anything. Ah. Xin Yan blushed. She couldn't believe it. He's scared of you now? Yeah. Even the ancients are scared of me now. Lin Yi wasn't too happy about it. He sighed. At least they won't do anything to you right now, and they won't force you. But I don't know how long this will last. What do you mean? Xin Yan blinked, not understanding what Lin Yi meant. Lin Yi didn't hide anything, and told Xin Yan everything that had happened recently. Lin Yi came early, and there was no one in the classroom yet. He wasn't worried about eavesdropping. Chapter 32-43. But, Xin Yan was a little jealous that two big stars were living in Lin Yi's house. She didn't think much of it when Meng Yao and Shu were there, but two other women moving in all of a sudden. Xin Yan didn't feel comfortable at all. But, she didn't say anything. She knew that Lin Yi was a loyal person, and Feng Shipian was his follower. Lin Yi couldn't reject him when he asked to protect Su Shihan. But, Xin Yan wasn't a scheming girl. She said impulsively, why don't I move back as well? Ah. This time, it was Lin Yi's turn to be startled. He didn't think that Xin Yan would make such a request. To tell the truth, Lin Yi approved of Xin Yan going back. After all, they were used to living here. Xin Yan, Yao Yao, and Shu got along well. Now, although Su Shihan and Cheng Yi were at home, they were still a bit lacking compared to Shu. Su Shihan and Cheng Yi were in the same room, and Yushu was alone in the room. She would be lonely, and Lin Yi thought that Shu would be quite happy if Xin Yan went back. What I mean is, aren't you Earth class early phase peak? If I help you, will you be able to break through to Earth class mid phase in a short amount of time? If you reach Earth class mid phase, you might be able to kill Sky class late phase peak in one hit. At that time, you won't have to worry. Xin Yan quickly explained. Actually, that was what she was thinking. That won't do. You know your body's condition. Right now, you're relying on the jade grass to maintain your body, but if I absorb more of your energy, your life will be in danger. Lin Yi shook his head decisively. It's good for you to come back and accompany Shu. Otherwise, Yao Yao will be very lonely after leaving. Man, you're right. I didn't think that Yao Yao was an inheritor as well. She left just like that. Xin Yan was emotional. She didn't think that Yao Yao would leave the villa in the blink of an eye. Xin Yan didn't say anything after hearing Lin Yi's rejection. After all, she couldn't change Lin Yi's decision. Xin Yan wanted to help Lin Yi, but she didn't want to cause trouble for Lin Yi. If her life was in danger, Lin Yi would do anything to help her. That wasn't what Xin Yan wanted. Then come back with me tonight. Lin Yi smiled. This time, Zhaolong won't come to your house anymore. Ha. Xin Yan smiled happily as well. The exam questions were easy for Lin Yi. Lin Yi had the right to be exempted, but he was just accompanying Xin Yan. Lin Yi's appearance pleased Boss Bai as well. Lin Yi had his privileges, but as a disciple, he had to follow the rules. Boss Bai was happy to see that. But what Lin Yi didn't expect was that on the second day after Xin Yan moved into the villa, Lin Yi received a call from Yang Qiqi. Bai Weitua walked over after the exam, excited to see Lin Yi. I say, Lin bro, where have you been all this time? I haven't seen you around, and my grandpa won't tell me? Bai Weitua asked curiously. Huh, it's nothing. There's a guest here, and I've been busy with her stuff. Lin Yi said. I see. Bai Weitua nodded. What are you planning to do this holiday? He Meiyue and I are planning to go sight. Are you coming? He Meiyue was the one who suggested that Bai Weitua come to Lin Yi. According to Bai Weitua's thinking, Lin Yi must be very busy, and Lin Yi might not have the time. But Bai Weitua said that they were brothers, and it'd be more fun with more people. So, Bai Weitua decided to give it a try. Oh. Where are you guys going then? Lin Yi was pressed for time, but Bai Weitua was one of his best friends back in university, especially the grandson of Professor Bai. Lin Yi had a good relationship with him, so it wouldn't be a bad idea to go out with him if possible. We're planning to go to Southeast Asia. It's warmer there. Bai Weitua said. He Meiyue said that we're not familiar with that place, and it'd be more interesting if we had a few friends. If you're free, would you like to go too? Wang Xinyan blushed and turned to look at Lin Yi, but her eyes were filled with anticipation. Perhaps she wanted to go with Lin Yi? Let me check the time. Lin Yi knew that Su Shihan might not be in danger for the time being, but the orphanage's matter still made Lin Yi cautious. Who knew if Feng Tianhu would go crazy and find someone to deal with Su Shihan or the dean? Okay, if you want to go together, give me a call. Bai Weitua knew that Lin Yi was busy, so he didn't force it. Lin Yi said goodbye to Bai Weitua and returned to the villa with Wang Xinyan. Wang Xinyan was a little shy when she arrived at the familiar entrance. She knew that she would see Shu when she entered the door, but what should she say when Shu asked her why she came back? Could she say that she missed Lin Yi and wanted to sleep with Lin Yi? That would be too embarrassing, and Wang Xinyan couldn't say it. Oh, Xinyan sis, you're back. Yushu didn't know if she saw Wang Xinyan from the room or heard the car, but she ran out of the villa and said excitedly. Wang Xinyan was a little shy and awkward at first, but Yushu's words helped her out. Wang Xinyan suddenly felt like she had returned home. Shu, I'm so happy to see you. My body wasn't very good recently, so I didn't come back. I only found out today that Yao Yao had left. I felt bad that I couldn't send her off, Wang Xinyan sighed and said quietly. Meng Yao was still here the last time she came. There's no other way. Everyone has their own mission. Maybe Shu will leave one day, and then Shield Bro will be taken care of by Xinyan sis, Yushu smiled. Because Yushu said it with a smile, Wang Xinyan didn't think that Yushu was telling the truth. She thought that Yushu was joking, and her face turned red. Shu, don't make fun of me. You're tuning into the Romantic Tales YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.